everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Akamo.
Welcome. Hi.
Welcome.
Oh my god.
To this week's episode of Series of Geektasticevents.
Oh my goodness.
Hi, 309.
I minimized the wrong thing. Hello.
Hello. We're going to be talking about lots of stuff today.
Woo!
Girl, I don't know if you're going to have this issue, but pronunciation is going to be crazy for me.
Oh yeah, no.
Thank you for the resub.
Oh, thank you.
32 months. That's a long ass time.
That is.
I hope you got a discount on that.
Thank you. Oh yeah, it's
September.
Yeah.
How are you two? We're doing great. It's gonna be a fun, chill episode today.
Woo!
And Lila did all of the opening and closing writing, so I don't have to do it, and I'm just vibing today. I'm just vibing.
Woo! Lila got a lot done yesterday.
Yeah. This week is gonna be a Lila was productive week. Sero had a lot of stuff going on. I don't think I told you, but so my sister did get her house, and so this for like every day this week I have been over there working stuff, like cleaning, because it was nasty because it had been foreclosed, so it hadn't been cleaned forever. And the lady that lived there was super old, and so I don't think she cleaned very much. And the kitchen was nasty. Everything was nasty, so I've been cleaning. And then yesterday, I changed 3 locks. I was a locksmith yesterday, guys. And I also was on the hunt for the water meter so I could fix, like, the water, because the water wasn't working. What else did I do? Oh, I helped cut down a tree. Did a lot. I did a lot of stuff yesterday. Today was I told literally my entire family, I was like, okay, guys, I will help you guys tomorrow, but today is podcast, so I'm not helping today.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But then, like I told Lila when I got into call with her, then I had to go do a bunch of stuff because my sister's car broke down, and I had to go pick up my baby nephew from school because no one was able to pick him up, and then I had to go get her and get the other baby from daycare. I was running around.
Aww.
But we're here, and we're ready to talk about the myths and the legends. It's going to be fun because I literally know nothing about what Lila's talking about.
I know nothing about what you're talking about.
Exactly. Either. So it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot going on. Yeah. I apologize in advance for pronunciation things because...
That's me every week.
Yeah, like the language is a barrier. There's a sound that we don't make in English that I'm like competing with constantly while I'm trying to get these words right. So if it sounds weird or if I say it multiple different ways, just ignore that. It'll be close enough.
Gave up and kind of just, you know.
Hey, you know, it's fine. It's my penance for the chaos poem that you had to read.
God, that thing was horrible. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was a poem for sure. I definitely want you guys all to read it if you didn't already. Oh, I should link it in our VOD video. Let me put a note to do that.
Wait, what in the VOD?
A link to the poem.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so I'm gonna message myself. Link the chaos to
I have no idea.
VOD.
I'm supposed to help non-English speakers.
Oh, you know what? I'll just do it right now before I forget because it won't take up any of my internet. So it'll be good. It'll be good. Right, because I can just go to
that was not
YouTube Studio. Can I link your doc or no? That's the full one. Do you know where you found that?
Yeah, I think I put the link to it, like the actual website link, in the
I found it.
on our Discord.
Oh, yeah, you did. I think. Let me see. No. Where are the geek links? Yep, it's the one I pulled up. Sick. All right, I'm just gonna put it in the description of a freaking thing. Okay, for the chaos poem, check out this link. Dave. Bam. Done. Bam. Did it. All right.
Woo!
Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. But yeah, so that was my day. Now we get to be here and talk to you guys. And I'm excited to hear what Lila has to say. Because, like I said, I have no clue. No clue at all. No clue.
I'm trying to find a specific picture. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. We can yap some more. It's whatever. So, in case you haven't read the title, Lila will be talking about Hawaiian mythology and legends, and I'm going to be talking about Mexica, which is Aztecs mythology and legends. I've just now recently learned that people that descend from Aztec or have any connection to that civilization don't want to be called Aztecs, because that's a word placed upon them. They called themselves Mexica. So yeah. So I'll be calling them Mexica in this podcast episode, but just to get it out of the way, that is referring to what is often called the Aztec people. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Because I was so worried that people were gonna misread it as Mexico and think I just misspelled it. Hi, Stella. Hello, welcome in.
Hello.
Talking about stuff. Lots of stuff.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
That's my disclaimer there, just in case anyone is unsure if I misspelled the word or not. I did not. That's what it's the word I meant.
Woo!
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about two completely different cultures. So this will be interesting to see if we've picked any myths or legends that are somehow related, they have the same vibes or anything. I literally have not read anything that Lila has written. So really, is this a new thing, or have they always called themselves Mexica? I'm pretty sure they themselves refer to themselves as that. I don't think it was always that, but it changed to that at some point, and everyone else just calls them Aztecs. I'm not really sure of the lore, but they were using the word interchangeably in a lot of the articles and documents. I went full send. I was reading books. I was reading full books about this stuff today and yesterday. I
read partial books online.
Yeah. One of them is a book from, let's see, what year is it from? 1967. And it is a Mexican and Central American mythology book by this historian, archaeologist, whatever she was, and it's crazy.
interesting.
Yeah, no. And she has like full like quotes from historical documents, pictures of the documents, pictures of the art and like paintings made, of the masks that they made. There's a lot. Yeah. So we'll be getting into all of that as well.
My computer's like freezing.
Oh no.
I know.
Well, good thing I'm streaming today.
Yeah.
It was fate telling us.
Yeah. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, well that's good. What's not good is that
yeah, so Aztec is coined by the Europeans who like studied them like long after they established in rules. Mexica is the term they used for themselves. So Aztecs is what the white people call them. Is basically like that's the conquerors named them that, whereas they call themselves something else. So, but Aztec is used so much in like literature, it's so hard to get away from. You know, it's really hard. But they are interchangeable as well. So, I don't refer to them like as a whole people as much because I'm just talking about all of Mesoamerica, really. So, actually, because I do have a Mayan one in here, I'm gonna change our title to Hawaii and Mesoamerica.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't just do Mexica stuff. I do Mexica twice and then Mayan once. So we'll do Mesoamerican.
Dude, when I was doing this research and stuff for the Hawaiian folklore, we definitely have to talk about Hawaiian gods and goddesses at some point.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I kind of like same with like Mesoamerican like cultures, like they have a lot of different gods. I'm gonna go into like specifically Mexica stuff, that's like gonna be like the creation story, but Mayans also have their own creation story, and it's like a whole other thing. So there's so many like
the Hawaiian.
Yeah, there's so many different cultures we can like look at for that.
I'm not covering creation today, but yeah, the creation story is so interesting. Whew. Let's get this going. Long, long ago, before streaming services and Comic-Cons, there were stories woven in firelight, whispered by bards, and carried on the winds of time.
Tales of mighty heroes, trickster gods, fearsome beasts, and quests that shaped the very fabric of worlds.
Today, those myths and legends rise again, not from dusty scrolls, but from the hearts of geeks like us.
So gather close, brave listeners, for in this episode of Geektastic Events, we journey into the realms where fantasy meets fandom, and where every legend begins anew.
Welcome. I'm your host, Lila.
And I'm your other host, Sero. Welcome, travelers, to Geektastic Events.
Yay! We did it!
Ow, I just need my desk. Hello, guys.
Ooh, that's not good.
Welcome.
Oh, that's not good. Let me get my thing up here. Okay. So like Sero said earlier, I'm talking about Hawaiian myth and legends. And I need to exit out of that because it's distracting me on the Discord. There we go. Woo!
Woo!
I honestly, like, just like a deep dive on Hawaii in general. Like, I'm so fascinated, dude. Okay. So, we're gonna start off with a quote. The myth is the secret opening through which the inexhaustible energies of the cosmos pour into human manifestations. Wow. Joseph Campbell. I don't know who that is, by the way.
Okay.
I don't know who that man is.
Joseph Campbell?
I liked, yeah, I really liked that quote. There's actually quite a few quotes from him about myths that I found.
He's an American writer.
Oh, makes sense.
Talks about the hero's journey, is specialized in comparative mythology and religion.
No wonder why he has so many quotes about myths. Makes sense. Okay. Well, aloha.
Okay, hi!
So, just a short little background on Hawaiian myths and legends before we get into the goddess Pele, which, oh my god, there could just be a whole episode dedicated to her and her stories alone. But I got the 2 that were in a book and 2 short ones that were like I commonly saw just around the internet, you know. Okay. So Hawaiian mythology is not just some relic of a distant past, but a very present spiritual belief among many of the islanders' indigenous natives. Traditional Hawaiian mythology and religion have ties to ancient Polynesian beliefs, which I've never even thought about deep diving into, but oh my god, it sounds so cool. But that was brought over by the earliest settlers to the islands, which were then shaped through centuries by their connection to these beautiful, remote, and unpredictable volcanic islands. Historian, well, normally I'd say Herb, but I don't know if his name's Herb or if it's Herb. Historian Herb Kawana Ainui? I'm sorry. Kane. Mr. Kane stated in the PBS series The Hawaiian Islands natives believed that, quote, the entire universe was an orderly fixed whole in which all parts were integral to the work, including man himself. Man was descended from the gods, but so were the rocks, so were the animals, so were the fish. Thus man had to regard the rocks and fish and the birds as relative. So, yeah, spirituality, that word, spirituality, is very prevalent within, the Hawaiian culture. And of course, most of these, like many others, countries' myths and legends, were stories that were passed down orally. Sounds like a lot of the stories were, for Hawaii specifically, were passed down orally until they got,
colonized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
That's how it was with Mesoamerica as well.
So, okay. The goddess Pele. I love her. Oh my gosh. Look at how beautiful she is, too.
Yeah.
Long black hair, dark skin, the red fire, from her outfit, definitely matches her personality. Holy cow, does she have a fiery personality? She does not play. So, in Hawaiian religion, Pele is the goddess of volcanoes and fire and the creator of the Hawaiian Islands. Often referred to as Madame Pele or oh crap, I don't know what sound that's supposed to make. Tutu Pele as a sign of respect. I apologize for anything I've messed up, but we're just rolling with it. as a sign of respect. She is also a well-known deity within Hawaiian mythology and is notable for her contemporary presence and culture influence as an enduring figure from ancient Hawaii. So, one big thing about her is her wrath, her like anger. Yeah, anger. I don't want to say issues, but the wrath of Pele, the goddess of fire and volcanoes, appears in many stories in Hawaiian folklore. This goddess of creation and destruction lives high on top. Oh, I didn't think to look into any of the names of the volcanoes. Kal Ayue? Kilauea? One of the most active volcanoes in the world. She's passionate and hot-tempered, and when angered, she'll send lava rushing down the mountain, eating up towns and dramatically shaping the landscape at her whim. In addition to being recognized as the goddess of volcanoes, Pele is also known for her power, passion, jealousy, and capriciousness. I don't actually know what that word means, nor if I said it correctly. Let's Google it real quick. Let's see.
Capricious?
Quality of being guided. Oh, capricious. There you go.
Is that what you
result in. Oh, yeah, that was the word. Yeah,
okay.
Capricious. That's what she's also known as. There we go.
Well, mood swings, basically, is what them.
Yeah. So she's definitely known for that. Now, before I get into the short little actual myth stories here, real quick, she has been like said to visit the island in human form because like she's the volcano goddess, so like she's volcano, but she has been said to take on a human form, and during these times drivers have reported seeing an old woman with white hair along the road who accepts their offer for a ride, and she climbs in the back seat. When the driver later turns to look at her, she vanishes. Another thing is the goddess is also believed to be able to take on human form, appearing sometimes as a beautiful young woman, but other times as an old, weak beggar woman with a white dog. In the latter, she often tests people by asking for their help. Those who are kind-hearted and provide her with food or drink she requests are rewarded, while those who are greedy or selfish are punished. Whenever modern sightings of Pele are reported, increased volcanic activity is said to follow closely. So that was interesting. Now, I do have a couple short stories real quick. I'm like so excited too. She's so cool. And holy cow, her love life is interesting too. I'm only doing like one story about that, like a more popular one, but
Yeah.
she had 2 lovers, I think, during her time. So let me see that. There we go. Okay. Oh, real quick before I get into the stories, Pele's curse. That's another it's a myth. It's part of her myth, but there is a thing called Pele's curse. It's the belief that anything natively Hawaiian, such as sand, rock, or like minerals and stuff, will bring bad luck on whoever takes it away from Hawaii. One version about the legends is that a disgruntled park ranger, angry at the number of rocks that were being taken from the island by visitors, said that Pele would curse them and with bad luck should they take anything. Another version often told is that bus drivers, tired of dirt and grime brought on their buses by tourists collecting rocks, so they started the story beginning of each pour to discourage the rock collecting. Now, The myth has caught on, told as if it were original Hawaiian taboo, and every year countless tourists do send back things that they have collected from Hawaii in order to escape the awful luck that the Pele's curse has brought upon them. So, rocks as souvenirs are highly frowned upon by Hawaiians. And it's also illegal to remove minerals from a U.S. national park as well.
Not
I did see a yeah, I did see a story on Reddit about this flight attendant who started freaking out because this kid brought rocks from the island onto the plane.
Oh man.
So like Pele's curse is definitely a big like myth that is believed in for sure, which I thought was interesting. But now that we've talked about that, let's do, what order did this go in? Deluge. Okay. Scroll up. No, scroll too much. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, I don't actually know how to pronounce that word. Damn it. It's like in the title. Like, I don't know. In my mind, I just like come up with a word to say as like a placement word.
Mm-hmm.
But then like when I'm actually reading live, I'm like, wait. I can't use a placement word here. I have to like use the actual word. Okay, deluge. Okay. So, Pele and the deluge. Okay, so all volcanic phenomena are associated in Hawaiian legendary lore with the goddess Pele. And it is somewhat curious fact that to the same celebrated personage is also attributed a great flood that occurred in ancient times. The legends of this flood are various, but mainly connected with the doings of Pele in the past of the Pacific Ocean. And this is the story. Oh boy. So this is a sea title. I guess a goddess too. Oh no. Kainali, we're gonna go with, was the mother of Pele. Oh lord. Kaneolani. Oh my god. Kaneolali. Oh my god. I like actually heard somebody pronounce this too. It's like right there.
You got this.
Okay, so her father and her mother, right? Okay. And her two brothers. Okay, so father, mother, two brothers. Pele was born in the land of Hapakuila, a far distant land at the edge of the sky towards the southwest. There she lived with her parents until she was grown up, when she married Walialoa, and to these were born a daughter named Laka and the son named Menahune. No, that is not. I literally have another myth on this later. How do I not remember how to pronounce it? I was practicing. It is Menahune! Jesus Christ, how did I forget that? Okay. So she has a daughter and a son. The son's Menahune, and the daughter is... I lost it already. Wrong doc. The daughter is Laka. But after a time, Pele's husband was enticed away by Pele Kumalani. Okay. The deserted Pele, being much displeased and troubled in mind on account of her husband, started on her travels in search for him, and came in the direction of the Hawaiian Islands. Now, at the time that these islands were a vast waste, there was no sea, nor was there any fresh water. When Pele set out on her journey, her parents gave her the sea to go with her and bear her canoes onward. So she sailed forward, flood borne by the sea, until she reached the land of Pakuila, and then onwards to the land of Kanaloa. From here, oh my gosh, from her head she poured forth the sea as she went, and brothers composed to celebrate. And it says, it's like a little, I don't want to say poem, but a little short verse. Oh, the sea, the great sea, forth burst the sea. Behold its burst on Kanaloa. But the waters of the waters of the sea continue to rise until the highest point of the great mountains were visible. All else was covered. Afterward, the sea receded until it reached its present level. This event is called the Kai, because it was from Kaniali, her mother, that Pele received the gift of the sea, and she herself only brought it to Hawaii. And from that time to this, Pele and all of her family forsook their former land and have dwelt in Hawaii. Pele coming first and the rest following at a different time. Something sounds really off here. This is directly from the book, but this doesn't make sense from what I've learned. On her first arrival at Hawaii, Pele dwelt on the island of Kaua. From there, she went to, oh my god, I don't know any of the names of these islands. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I promise I will mispronounce things. I promise.
Kalalapapa on the island of... Okay, on islands. Yeah, cool. Then she departed to a different island near something else where she dug out a crater. After she moved further to a different place where she stayed until she hollowed out that great crater. And finally she settled at Kai Aiui on the islands of Hawaii, where she's remained ever since. Something sounds very wrong about this.
I can't tell you. I have no idea.
It literally said there was 2 Peles, but that's not... I've not seen anything about there being 2 Peles. This sounds like the story that I know about her and her sister, because she was trying to steal her sister's lover, which is what they mention in this.
There was only one Pele, the renowned Hawaiian goddess of volcanic fire, but she has several powerful and influential sisters, including Sea Goddess and Snow Goddess. And is it Poli instead of Pele? There's a Snow Goddess named Poli.
It's not Poli. Okay. I read that. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me go back to the... Pele's husband was enticed away far from her by Pele Kumalani. I know I'm saying that right, too.
Pele Kumalani?
Yeah. Versus Pele. Oh, Pele Kumalani is a different... Okay. Pele Kumalani is a different goddess. It's another goddess who
caused trouble for the
betrays
volcano
Pele.
goddess Pele. Yeah. So.
Okay, well then that makes sense again.
Yeah.
That just... I didn't... nowhere did I ever see in anything that I read
her guy has been enticed away by more than one person.
Well, no, she actually stole her sister's husband.
Oh, okay, so she stole her sister's husband, and then this Pele Kumulani
tried to steal
her husband. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Akamo. Get some good sleep.
Bye-bye. Sorry that was such a rough first read. That, like, made no sense. Nowhere did I ever see that there was a second Pele. That is so weird.
Is all right.
Okay. Well, anyway. Okay, well, let's just keep going. Like I said, I'm not getting into, like, all of her lovers today. Just one of those stories. Actually, it's the one I kind of just described. With her sister. So that will be interesting. But, actually, let's just jump into that one. Pele's Forbidden Lover. Woo!
Woo! Lovers!
Akelene Yuyaku. Oh god, that was horrible. Okay, well, her forbidden lover, right? One of Hawaiian's creation stories tells of Pele's older sister, Namakoakahi, goddess of the sea, which chased Pele and her family while they were searching for a permanent home in the northern Pacific Ocean. Each time her sister saw Pele's canoe approaching land, she whipped up a huge surf and giant tidal wave that drove her back to sea. Now, you might be asking yourself, what could cause Pele's sister to be so mad with her? Well, legend says that when this water goddess, or goddess of the sea, was married to Akailinui Q, a mighty man who had the power of clairvoyance. Shortly after they met, the sea goddess fell in love with him and demonstrated to him the magical powers that she held, and they married soon after that. But he was weak in the flesh, and he fell for a steamy flirtations of the sea goddess's younger sister, Pele. One day, he pretended he was going fishing, and his wife caught him and Pele together in a lover's embrace. Let your imagination go from there. She caused the oceans to rise and bubble as they were erupting hot lava. Pele and her family could do nothing but flee from her anger. From Kauai, that was not at all the word. From Kauai.
It sounds like you're saying kawaii. Like the Japanese
I'm trying not to. Okay, so from this island in the north and down the Hawaiian island chain to Oahu, Maui, and Molokai. Pele fled with her sister in furious pursuit. Each time Pele dug a crater so that she could get some volcanic rest, but her sister would see the smoke and rush over to douse the flames, and that basically was keeping Pele on the move. Her sister followed Pele through the island chain until Pele, the volcanic goddess, finally settled in Umoyu crater at Kailauea volcano, an upland area far from the rest of the sea waves. Even today, Pele's eruptions from the island's volcanoes rush sizzling hot till they reach the sea, symbolizing the match in strength between the sisters of fire and water. Volcano and ocean. Oh my god.
You got it.
Oh my goodness, my throat. So yeah, that's why, like, at first when I was reading that first story, I was like, wait, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It sounds so similar. It's different. It is different. I wasn't
prepared for such a.
I didn't read.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I found it in a book, so I didn't, like, read through it. I was like, oh, it's short. It has a specific title. It's like an actual story. I'll go ahead and just read that. And I did not realize how similar it was. Woo, Pele. Okay. So, Pele and somebody else's name I can't pronounce. Pele and Kah- Kahaiwa- Kaihawali. Kaihawali? Wali. I'm gonna say that. Kahawali. Sorry. In the region of Kaliuki, Kaliuki, an ancient king of Hawaii, Kahawali, chief of Puna, and one of his favorite companions, went one day to amuse themselves with a sled. Okay. And on the sloping side of a hill, which is close to the sliding place, vast numbers of people gathered at the bottom of the hill to witness the game. In a company of musicians and dancers repaired to add to the amusement of the spectators. So there was musicians and everything there, right? The performers began their dance, and amidst the sound of the drums and the songs of the musicians, the sledding of Kahawali and his companion commenced. The occasion attracted the attention of Pele, the goddess of volcano, who came down from her volcano mountain to witness the spot. Standing on the summit of the hill in the form of a woman, she challenged the king to slide with her. He accepted the offer, and they set off together down the hill. Pele, less acquainted with the art of balancing herself on the narrow sled than her rival, was beaten, and the king was applauded by the spectators to be returned up the side of the hill. Ooh, that does not. I wouldn't want to piss her off if I were you. Before starting again, Pele asked him to give her his papahula. Papahula? Hula? Wow, it has everything else in like parentheses, but it doesn't give you what this is. What is a papahula? Oh, it's just a specific type of sled. Okay, so basically, he was giving her the sled. Okay. Oh, no, she asked him for the sled. Okay. But he was supposing from her appearance, and she was no more than a native woman. Okay, so he doesn't realize it's Pele. He just thinks it's some random native woman. No, are you my wife that you should obtain my sled? And as if imprinted at the delay, he adjusted his sled, ran a few yards to take a spring, and then, with his momentum and all of his strength, he threw himself upon the shot down the hill. Damn, dude really buckled down on that one. Pele insists at his answer. Oh, okay. Pele didn't like his answer, stomped her foot on the ground, and an earthquake followed. An earthquake from stomping on the ground. which rent the hill in sunder. She called in... My throat, Jesus Christ. She called in fire and liquid lava rose, and assuming her supernatural form with these irresistible ministers of vengeance. She followed down the hill. When the king reached the bottom, he arose, and on looking back behind him, he saw Pele accompanied by thunder and lightning. That would be scary. Earth, like the earthquake and streams of burning lava, everything. They were all behind her and pursuing him. He took up his boarded spear, which he had stuck in the ground at the beginning of the game, and accompanied by his friends, fled for his life. The musicians, dancers, crowds, and spectators were all instantly overwhelmed by the scene. Bearing on its foremost wave, the enraged goddess continued to pursue the king and his companions. They ran until they came to Pukia. Here the king threw off his cloak and proceeds towards his house, which stood near the shore. He met his favorite pig, and saluted it by touchy noses. Then ran to the house of his mother and saluted her by touching noses and said, "Compassion great to you, come here, perhaps in your death." And then Pele comes devouring, is what he said. I am so glad I did not attempt to say that in not English. "And let us die together," is what he told his, who was that? His mother? Oh my god. Yeah, that's what or his wife. He told his wife that. Jesus, let us die together. He said, no, I go, and then he saluted. Oh, she said, "Stay with me here, let us die together." See, I'm like switching words up like nothing.
It's alright.
Okay, so he told her what was going on, basically, and she's like, "Oh, like, we're in this together." And then he's like, No, I'm gonna go." And then saluted his 2 children, and he said, "I grieve for you too." And then the lava rolled near, and he ran till a deep chasm arrested his progress. He laid down his spear and walked over on it in safety. His friend called out for his help. He held out his spear, and then his companion took hold of it and drew him securely over. By this time, Pele was coming down with accelerated motion, and he ran till he reached Kula. Here he met his sister, but had hastened to his house to provide for the safety of his family. And then when he and his friend leapt into the canoe. What the fuck? Dude, I need to zoom in. My eyes are like playing tricks on me. I am like mixing up she's and he's and everything. This is horrible. I feel old. What the frick? I can't read. Okay. So he ran until he reached Kulua. Here he met his sister, but had only time to say, "Alas for you," and then he ran onto the shore. His younger brother had just landed from a fishing canoe and had hastened to his house to provide safety for the family when the king arrived. And then he and his friend leaped into the fishing canoe. and with his spear and paddle out to sea. Pele, perceiving his escape, ran to the shore and hurled after him with a lot of force. Stones and rocks, which fell thickly around but did not strike his canoe. When he had paddled a short distance from the shore, the east wind sprung up, and he fixed his boarded spear upright in the canoe, that it might answer the double purpose of a mast and sail. And by its aid, he soon reached the island of Maui? Is that an island? Where they rested
Yeah,
one night and then
Maui's an
proceeded
island.
to. Okay, then I was saying that right. They then proceeded to Lanai, whatever. The day following, they moved on to a different island and then to Oahu, the abode of the Pele's mother and father, basically. They went to Oahu to where Pele's mother and father were. And his sister, to whom he relates his disastrous perils and with whom he took up his permanent abode. So basically, she drove this dude, this king, all the way out of his home. And he, like, never moved back because of her.
Dang.
That is the gist of the story. She holds grudges. Jesus Christ. She was, like, out for blood, dude. Like, I don't know if the way he said it was rude, but he doesn't have to share the canoe or the sled if he doesn't want to. Like, he can totally just, like, it's his sled. If he only wants to share with people he knows and trusts, well, like, yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would not want to piss her off, so. But, let's see here. Yeah, there have obviously been, like with any myths, people claiming that they saw real things. You can pull up the volcano pictures real quick. Jeez, I'm gonna have to, like, make more tea and actually add, like, honey to it or something this time.
Alright, I got the volcano pictures.
Not usually like this. Okay, so the two big volcano pictures, right? Side by side. They were taken by Matt Forney, I think is how you say his name.
Yep, I see it in the picture. It says Matt Forney Pele photo.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So it is said that there's a lot of mana, spiritual power. This is, like, supposed to be the one, like, the volcano or mountain or whatever that she presides in. And it's clear, people see Pele's presence when they visit, and occasionally visitors who make the pilgrimage to Pele's domain claim to have seen her unmistakable likeness, just like in these photos.
Yeah, this picture on the right is I was trying to zoom in and I hit it. You can see a silhouette particularly well.
Yeah, that's what people are saying is Pele. So Matt, the Oahu photographer, took a last-minute trip in November 2016 to this area, where lava is currently flowing to Kamakuna, so that's where he took the trip to. And lava is currently flowing into the ocean, obviously. And it was an impromptu trip to visit a friend who was moving away. And he felt a weird sensation as soon as he stepped off the plane, like he was supposed to be on the big island. He said, I quote, "I could feel the atoms in my body bouncing around faster," he recalls. "I was supposed to be exactly where I was in that moment." So he took the pictures of the volcano, right? And he didn't even, like, discover the silhouette until after. So he was sitting in front of his computer editing his photos. Then he actually saw what he had taken. He said, quote, "I saw this picture and knew without a doubt that I had been called to the experience. I've taken countless photos, but this is the one that affected me the most. I freaked out when I saw her. So yeah, everybody's like, that's Pele in the photo.
I mean, to be fair, it does really look like the silhouette of a woman with
Does
flowing
it?
hair. Like, I would be freaking
Plus,
out
like,
too if it was me.
yeah, she like wears red and she has long black hair too. So like the way it just kind of like is shaped. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. We also have the other photos if you want to pull up the other three. So different photographer, Misty, Kalamau. She was a visitor to Pele's mountain volcano, and she claims that she saw Pele emerging from the crater in the thick of night. So that's what this is supposed to be. Misty took an unassuming photo of two individuals posing in front of the crater that you can see here. During 2016, again, 2016. But if you kind of look behind her where the volcano's glow is, a lot of people say that it's like a side profile of Pele. So we have the photos, two other versions of that photo, kind of zoomed more in. And that last one down at the bottom, that apparently, like that cloud shape or whatever, is said to kind of happen a lot at Mayu. Dude, the fact that like Hawaii is a state and it feels like a foreign land, foreign like. I mean, they have like their own language, but like, holy crap. But yeah, there's even like a video of lava reaching an ocean back in 2010, and if you watch closely, when it hits the, obviously when lava hits water, it kind of hardens and stuff, becomes rock, and it says that in the video you can watch her face like being formed
Interesting.
as the lava is hitting the rock, and I thought that was pretty cool and interesting. There's quite a few like little videos and stuff like that, where like people claiming to see her face and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of rather see her like that than as like an old lady with a white dog or just a beautiful woman, because if I were to piss her off, that would not end well for me. But yeah, that is just the tip of the iceberg of Pele, I should say. Definitely tip of the iceberg. She's a very interesting woman. So many interesting things from her. But yeah, that was Pele.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That short story, that first one really threw me off.
Yeah.
Because, like, I skimmed through the story, and it was, like, before I even found out about the other affair one or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, I kind of get why my mind didn't put two and two together, but I also, like I said, I found an actual, like, book.
Yeah.
And got the stories that I got from the book, I just did direct links to the book to be able to read from the book on stream as a cold read, because I thought it'd be fun to read actual. But oh my lord, that really threw me off.
It's all right.
Please.
This one's gonna be rough for me, so.
Oh, it makes me feel a little bit better. I'm totally butchering like all of the Hawaiian Well, not all, because there are some words I actually know or some words I listen to enough.
Yeah.
Where it's like, even if my, like, mind first doesn't say it, I just need a second. Like I did with Pele's son's name.
Indeed. Indubitably.
Yeah. Indubitably. Oh, my throat is killing me. I might have to go add more hot water to this.
All right, well, it's my turn, so go ahead and do that if you'd like. We are.
Might add some honey to it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. All right, y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna add some honey.
We are switching gears and we're heading to Mesoamerica. So,
Woo!
not too far away, but hop, skip, and a jump away.
Not you, Siri. Stop it.
Siri time. Oh shit, mine did it too. Stop. Okay. All right, so Mesoamerican myth. It is very ancient because it involves a lot of ancient civilizations. So a lot of it dates back to 1500s BCE with the development of Olmec and Mayan civilizations. And since then, there's been so many more civilizations and cultures that have influenced the mythologies. For example, Mexica, often known as Aztecs, Bribri, Mazatec, and many more. That was just a few that I named. So this rich culture has created a somewhat confusing mythology because there's similarities for sure between the regions, but there's also everyone has their own unique gods and goddesses. Creation myths are different. The stories of those gods and goddesses are obviously going to be unique to them. But there are still a lot of shared mythologies that have been passed along through trade, through like combinations of civilizations, intermingling as you would, and that kind of stuff. So it overall has some big like overarching mythologies that kind of go with everything. But it is so many different regions all in one, even though it kind of feels like it's one. But this also is kind of difficult in terms of mythology because a lot of these don't have primary sources. So there's barely anything written down of these stories and myths. And if there are, most of them are like fragments of a story. And there's also obviously verbally passed down mythologies and legends and stuff. But that's kind of like over thousands of years, somewhat a game of telephone, right? So there's no distinct mythology that you can look back to and say, this is for sure what it was. But there's a lot of filling in the blanks, educated guesswork. A lot of the like educators and philosophers immerse themselves in the culture that has been built today from these other cultures and see what has been passed down and kind of fill in the blanks using that as well. And obviously, when the Spanish conquistadors came and colonized the region, a lot of things were lost because they were not really in the business of preserving cultures. They were more into like conquering as quickly and as efficiently as possible and erasing a lot of other people's cultures. So take everything I say today with a little grain of salt. These are just legends and mythology that have been passed down, and some of them have fully been preserved through written word, which is really cool, but not all of them. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is going to be the Legend of the Five Sons, and that's a Mexica legend. And just a brief overview of it, it's the belief that the world has gone through 5 distinct cycles of creation and destruction. So I'm going to go through all of the different cycles and we're going to talk about it. Okay, so in the beginning, there was a void. There was nothing, as it usually starts out. There's nothing, just darkness. And then from this void, the first god, Ometeotl, or Ometeotl, okay, going forward, there is a TL sound that we don't say in English. So if I say it incorrectly, ignore. And he created himself and then created 4 Tezcatlipoca's who would preside over each of the 4 cardinal directions. So let me get a picture of him up first. We have Ometeotl. They all kind of look like unique in terms of like what they got on, what they represent. So hopefully you guys can tell them apart. So this is the dad. This is the dad. All right. And then let's get these 4 babies. All right. So in the West, we have Quetzalcoatl. What? We're just gonna say, I was practicing so much and now I'm nervous and so it's gonna be so bad now. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Lila also suffered. I can suffer too. And then we have in the South, we have Huitzilopochtli, I think is how you say it. Huitzilopochtli. I think I said that one right. And then, I did not set these up. And then we have in the East, Xipe Totec, which, thank goodness for you, your name is so easy. He's giving dad vibes. This guy. Let me move down. All right, and then we have Tezcatlipoca, which I said that name so much, so I better say it right. All right, so we have our sorry, guys. Time out. All right. Everybody is yelling in the house, so I was asking if they could stop. All right. So these 4 gods. So let's get rid of dad. These 4 gods right here. They sought to create the world as we know it. But every time they tried, their creation would fall into the waters below and was devoured by Kipakli. Kipakli, I think is how you say it. Yeah, Sipakli or Kipakli, one of them. Who, she was a crocodile monster. She was a sea monster that looked like a crocodile. Didn't like her. So they kept trying over and over, and she just kept eating up their world. And finally, Tezcatlipoca sacrificed one of his limbs, his leg, to use as bait to lure the crocodile out of the way so that they could basically destroy her. So he gave her the leg, she's devouring it, and the other 3 gods take that opportunity to cut her up and use her body to then shape the earth, create more gods, and they also created the very first humans. And these humans were freaking giant. They were really big. Not the humans that we are today. They were big, big guys.
Dang.
Yeah.
Also,
Mhm.
sorry. I literally poured the tea,
Uh-huh.
got everything steeping, set it down, and then I lost it. I was like, where the fuck did I just put my mug? I literally just It took me longer to find it than I wanted it to.
Bruh, you're losing your mind a little bit. All right, so am I.
Mhm.
All right. So we get to the creation. So they've created the earth. They've created some more gods, and they've created the first humans. To give this world light, Tezcatlipoca was chosen to be the sun. And the thing about this god is he is fully like representative of the night. His name translates to smoking mirror, which is like they used obsidian to make mirrors. So it's like obsidian level of darkness. He also is depicted a lot of the time in the form of a jaguar. Like the black cat.
Oh.
And
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, he also is connected to conflict a lot. So we'll get into it, but he's kind of a troublemaker in this.
Oh.
But yeah, he's voted and chosen as the sun for the first sun, right? So we're the first sun. We're on the first sun. So obviously it doesn't work out. So this guy is connected to the night, and so he doesn't shine as bright as a sun should. It's like half the light, basically. And eventually, we have a rivalry brewing between him and his brother Quetzalcoatl. There we go. And he knocks Tezcatlipoca out of the sky with a stone club and sends the world into darkness. And because of this, Tezcatlipoca gets really mad and sends all of his jaguars to consume humanity. And with that, the first sun ended. So that's the first sun. Now we move on to the second sun. So this time, they shape normal-sized humans, with Quetzalcoatl serving as the sun. So the person that freaking slammed the other one down with the stone club is now the sun. And they intend to give this world order. But obviously this is the second sun, and that doesn't really work out. So humans strayed far from divine teachings and started succumbing to greed and corruption. And in response to this, Tezcatlipoca turned them into monkeys. And that was not at all what Quetzalcoatl wanted. He treasured the humans. He was like very proud of his, efforts. And so he grew very distressed. And his turmoil unleashed a hurricane that cast them all away. So all of the monkeys are gone now. And he's like, I'm quitting my job as the sun, and I'm going to do bigger and better than we have yet. So he gives up on the second sun, and he's ready for the third one. And they get to the third sun, and they decide to make the rain god, Tlaloc, the sun this time. So the rain god is the sun now. And that would have been super chill. Only if Tezcatlipoca didn't snatch up this dude's wife. So
Oh!
Tezcatlipoca snatches at the wife. Tlaloc is consumed with grief, can't go to work, is giving up on being the sun, can't rain,
Aww.
can't be the rain god, so the world falls into a terrible drought. And then he gets mega annoyed because all the humans are whining about like there's no water, there's like we're dying, and he's like, y'all are so annoying. And so he unleashes a rain of fire upon the earth and decimates everyone and everything to ash. So
love that.
third son doesn't go well. They didn't pick the right guy. He was very unstable. So we get to the fourth son. They get their stuff together and they make a new earth and they make new humans. And Tlaloc gave his son duties to his second wife, Chalchutlique, the water goddess. So more water. And she freaking loved humanity. She was all for it. But this, of course, annoyed our resident gremlin, Tezcatlipoca, who then accused her of being super fake so that she could garner all of their devotion, like the humans' devotion. And this really hurt her feelings. And so she cried blood for 52 years. And because she cried blood for 52 years, she flooded the earth and turned all of the humans into fish. So the fourth son failed. And
that's crazy.
They finally get to the fifth son, which, as you may have guessed by the name of the legend, isn't a complete failure. So Quetzalcoatl didn't give up his dreams of humanity and Earth. So he descended into the underworld, stole their bones from Mictlan, the ruler of the dead. He takes the bones back to Earth, but is clumsy as heck, trips and falls into a hole and shatters all the bones, and then uses his own blood to like dip the destroyed bones in, and this restores them enough to where they can be born into humans. And because they were broken, that is why humans come in many different shapes and sizes.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
That, like...
They're unique because of the bones being shattered. Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard something like that. I really like that.
Yeah. You never really kind of like... There's no reasoning why we're all different. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But I like having one. It's kind of like I liked it. Yeah, I like that addition to the tale of creation. So then we have
I like that a lot.
The new son, and this son is Huitzilopochtli, which is one of the brothers, and he becomes the son, and it's a little complicated. Him and his sister don't get along. Hoyashauki is the goddess of the moon, and he's the goddess of the sun. And so you kind of get what's happening here, the explanation of night and day. So every night, she would lead an assault against him with the help of the gods of the southern stars and the solar eclipse goddesses. And so every night they fight. But by dawn, he defeats them and remains victorious. And this is important because to keep his strength up, the Mexica would offer human sacrifices. So this is where the constantly talked about Aztec human sacrifices come into play. They offer him specifically, the sun god, sacrifices to give him strength enough to fight his sister every day so that they don't fall into darkness forever. They also they offer Tezcatlipoca, the gremlin, human sacrifices as well so that he's not angry all the time.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of leeway there. And they give Quetzalcoatl, they give him blood, not fatal offerings, because he's not really into the whole fatal offering thing. So they just give him blood. And it's believed that if these tributes were ever to stop, the sun would go dark and the world would crumble with a great earthquake. So this this myth is super important to Mexica society and history. Like, they dominated other Mesoamerican peoples, societies, expanded their empire, and this was all driven, whether it was really driven or if they just use it as an excuse, we'll never know, but it was definitely driven by their religious belief in the fifth sun, because they believed that they were filling like a divine duty by conquering these people and sacrificing them in ceremonies to these gods. And so all of their expansion, their huge empire that they built, and like all of that was very much centered around this origin story that I just told you guys, which is interesting because I never even thought of like where, because I've always heard, oh, Aztecs, they were like always sacrificing people. They were like I've heard a lot of like kind of iffy things. Like some people get a little too. They're like they're devils. Like I've had some really strong opinions told at me about the Aztecs.
I wouldn't say they're devils. Like it's
a different society. Yeah. It's a different time. It's a different belief system than we ever knew. Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, if you believed that if you didn't do this, that the world would crumble and like everything would go dark, I feel like you would too, like, do as you were told. Like if you knew nothing else, if there was no other like ideas being like expressed to you, I feel like you would just think that that was the thing you had to do, you know? But yeah, so that's the origin stories of creation via the Mexica, and it's super important. It's super important to their history. Hi, Matt.
It's just so like, hi, Matt. It is really interesting. So like, okay, this could probably be a whole topic on its like own, but with like human sacrifice, do you think was there like, because I know they weren't the only ones that did human sacrifice. Like there's a bunch of civilizations that have. Do you think like requirements that they had?
Yeah, you had to do like there were ceremonies, and like they used captured prisoners. They did use it wasn't necessary, but that wasn't always the case. Sometimes it was like there were points in time where I've read in the past during like my classes and stuff where they would have like people that would be sacrificed from their society, like from their town or whatever. That was like a chosen person, like chosen by the gods. And they did, I don't remember if it was Aztec or if it was one of the other Mesoamerican like regions, but there were like sacrifices done with children and like animals and stuff as well, obviously. But a lot of it was captured prisoners for the Mexica society.
Oh, perfect timing. Matt's learning about this right now.
Oh, interesting.
In history class.
You can tell them all about it. This is very useful for class. I'm glad. You missed the origin stories, but you can always watch it back real quick at the end after we finish. Don't use my pronunciation as the standard, though.
Yeah, pronunciation this episode is
gonna be a struggle.
Yeah. Questionable at best.
Right, so that is my first legend. The Legend of the Five Sons.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Matt, I'm not talking about Mesoamerica, so, don't use that for class, I guess.
Alright, you got any
Don't use
pictures
that
for your
class.
next one, ma'am?
Dude, that's what I meant to do! I meant to send you over the pictures. Gosh dang it. Okay. Hold on. See, I knew I was forgetting to do something. I was just sitting here listening, enjoying the story, and I'm like, I'm forgetting something. Yes,
Escatli Polka is crazy, dude. He is such a menace. He's like... He's making women cry for 52 years. He's killing off all of humanity. He's turning them into monkeys. What a menace. Oh, my stream is dying.
That one's a JPEG. I'm actually trying to make sure that they're the right file this time. Let's see.
Yeah, if they're talking about Aztecs, you can talk about how they sacrificed people because they didn't want the sun god to get defeated by his sister, the moon god. So they had to sacrifice people to give him strength enough so that the world wouldn't end and crumble in a great earthquake. So it was, live or die, man.
That's, yeah, fascinating. What the heck? Of course, there's only one.
They sacrificed for the god, the One
One god,
Piece.
Nico, One Piece! Yes. I have one more picture. Give me one sec.
Alrighty.
It's being funky.
What stuff going on,
Nika's
fellas?
so cool,
though. Alright, let me get these two up.
Bye. Let's get this. Oh, wait, I think it is a JPEG. I'm gonna send it to you. I think it's a JPEG. I think I was just messing with it for nothing.
Okay.
There you go. Actually, send
it
it
is
to the right place this time.
It is indeed a JPEG.
Yay! Okay. Also, while I was listening to you, I got, I kind of made myself a dessert, I guess you could say. Because Okay, guys, so for, dessert, I've been eating, vanilla Greek yogurt mixed with chocolate chips. And this time I added, a whole scoop of caramel to it, too. And oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. I had to share. Okay. Anyway, sorry. My B.
Alright, I'll be right back.
My B.
I'm gonna get tea as well while you're talking.
Okay. Huakapo. Kaipo. Huakaipo. Okay. So, this, going back to Hawaii mythology, I'm going to be talking about a very... Okay, so I'm going to be real. I didn't know any of the Hawaiian myths before today, but I guess this one is really popular, really well known, and they're called the Night Marchers, or the Huakaipo. Huakaipo. I actually practiced how to pronounce this one before stream, but I think I'm hitting the enunciation in the wrong place. But Huakaipo. The Night Marchers, okay. So in Hawaiian mythology, Night Marchers, or spirit ranks, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce that in Hawaiian, are the deadly ghosts of ancient tribal Hawaiian warriors. The Night Marchers are the vanguard for a sacred king, chief, or chiefet. chiefess, female chief. So the night marchers are basically a group of warriors marching in death in like a haunted precision. So they are culturally significant. Their roots in pre-contact Hawaiian society and how belief in these like guardians persist even today. They are still like believed to, be real, and like sightings and all that stuff are still have said to have been seen. Now, in Hawaii, there was this like caste system of nobility whose power were hereditary. So, I feel like it's a classic tale of nobility where like basically you're born into old money, old nobility status kind of thing. So their power in society was not only like political but also religious, as the most powerful were considered to be godly or even descendants from God. And that's really important because the night marchers are ghosts of like ancient human warriors who basically came back from death as spirits, and they are bound to these nobility, chiefs or kings and such, and were said to be their guards in life. So they're still like their guards in the afterlife, you could say. So supposedly some of these nobles were considered to be such sacred beings that normal humans had to be punished if they touched the shadows of these people or even just simply looked at them, which is crazy to me. That's Imagine getting in trouble by like guards, like just for looking at someone. That's insane. But that's why some of the nobles were said to travel at night, actually, where they would not cast shadows for people to step in. They'd often go on precisions, both to check on their land, so like, these long walks to check on their land, and to collect tribute from people. During these precisions, their numerous guards would follow. They would blow conch shells, beat drums to let people know of their arrival. And like drums, in the beating of drums, and like I'm not even gonna try to say the Hawaiian word for it, are really important to like the culture and stuff as well. Music and is important to the culture. So if you heard these conch shells or this like beat of the drums, you knew they were coming, which comes back into play. This is important, people. It's said that these precisions were still held after death, and that the ghostly nobles or kings were still accompanied by a small army of night watchers, which are, again, like the deadly spirit warriors who continue to march even after death. Now, if you're in Hawaii at night and hear the sounds of drumming or like the trumpeting of a conch shell, it's best to remember the tales of the night marchers, because these spirits of ancient Hawaiian warriors are said to travel in groups around the island to revisit places where they fought fierce battles during their lifetimes. They march in darkness after sunset and march as a group continuously until before sunrise. Anyone living along their path may hear chanting, sounds of the conch shell, drumming, marching noises, things like that at night. The following signs of them being near are also a foul, musky, like death-like odor, or similar to sulfur, and torches getting brighter and brighter at night as the soldiers get closer. So, Ancient Hawaiians states that any mortal looking upon or being seen in defiance towards the marchers will die violently.
Ooh.
Yeah. Barriers placed in their path that they are going will not deter them. If you're in their way, you're like as good as dead. Some people maintain that if a mortal lies motionless face down on the ground, be completely still face down, looking at the ground, and they're showing proper respect, fear, and like deference to the night marchers, then you'll be spared, ideally, essentially. Additionally, if like mortals can avoid harm or death from the night marchers by being fortunate enough of having an ancient ancestor marcher present to recognize them. So basically, if the only way to be like saved is if you have an ancestor who was a soldier or a warrior and they can vouch for you and be like, hey, they're like mine, like my bloodline, my family.
Yeah.
Then you'll be saved regardless. But you can, it's kind of like, it reminds me of like bears. You know how there's that saying like if it's black, fight back, if it's brown, get down. You know what I mean? That's what it kind of reminds me of. If your best chance is to lay on the ground flat, not looking at them or anything. But, something still could happen if they deem you like disrespectful or like an annoyance. But if you got that like ancestral support, then you're good. You're good. Now, some sources say if you do not know the lineage of your ancestors, your next hope is to, this is like last resort, strip off your clothing and lay flat on your back to convince those in the procession that you are crazy, and therefore have them have pity for you, and they'll leave you intact. So, there were some sources that said to defecate yourself as well after stripping your clothes off and laying on your back. But that was kind of like a 25-75 percent thing I saw, you know what I mean? But I mean, if it makes you look more crazy, then I guess go ahead. So, night marchers are said to frequent areas that are sacred to Native Hawaiians, including the Pale, and other places are Oahu sites include Yokohama Bay, Kalama Valley, etc. Other places that I don't want to accidentally mess up saying. So they often march on the last 4 Hawaiian moon phases before the moon goes completely dark. Okay. If you're in Hawaii, guess you should be at night. Probably pay attention to what moon you're on. Just saying. So another well-known place is that you might find them is, because again they're like all over the island. Okay, Manoa. Woo, got there. Manoa Falls is the most well-known night marcher like trail. Their path extends across many islands. They roam in the valleys and across the mountains, primarily through burial sites and spiritual temples.
Interesting.
Oahu is a hotbed for night marcher activity, while sightings reported by King Kamehameha. Oh my god. I just said Kamehameha.
Yeah, you did.
Kamehameha.
Close enough. Close enough to Kamehameha.
Yeah. The third. This king, okay? This king. He was a king in Hawaii. Okay, the third. He reported sightings in his summer palace. There's also... Oh, he didn't report the sightings. There have been sightings in his summer palace.
Oh, okay.
English has been very hard for me today, boys and girls, and anyone in between. Yokohama Bay, like I said before, the valleys, plantations, you name it. So, there is one World War II story, 1940s, of interactions by the U.S. Army with the night marchers that I thought was really fascinating. So, let me get to that. So, during World War II in the 1940s, a U.S. Army, the U.S. Army set up an airfield on Oahu. They built barracks along the runway, and the barracks, the front of the barracks, the front doors, faced the sea, and the backs were facing a hill, okay? How in the barracks, there was, like, Japanese American soldiers, there was, like, local Hawaiian recruits, and all living in these barracks, okay? Now, one night, a soldier was tossing and turning. He started having night terrors, he got very cold, very fast, and a very powerful smell, awful smell, filled the room. And all of a sudden, he couldn't breathe, and it felt like there were actual hands squeezing around his neck. That's what it felt like. Another soldier shined a light on him because, like, was woken up by his fellow soldiers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Discomfort. So the soldier shined a light on him, and there was nothing there. So that soldier who was having that experience, he kind of went to bed and just chalked it up to night terrors, okay? Now, the next night, it got very, very cold again. And there was a very powerful smell. And this time, multiple soldiers felt hands on their necks. And they all also heard strange sounds from far away. Then they reported seeing lights heading to the beach, but they didn't see anyone. So remember, this airfield, is like, I don't 100% know if it was on the beach or just next to the beach, but it was in between the hills and mountains and in between the ocean. So, smack dab in the middle. But yeah, they reported seeing lights heading to the beach, but they didn't see anyone, like, holding lights. The soldiers reported to their captain wanting to be moved into different housing, because if that was fucking happening to me, I would definitely want to not live in that bunker. But the captain laughed it off, thinking it was just like a prank. Oh, you do have the pictures up. So, real quick before I continue with the story, these are, like, pictures of what the night marchers are said to have, like, wear and stuff like that. Like, people who have claimed to see them, what they kind of look like. Always, like, the feather helmets and stuff like that. So, just so you know. For some reason, I didn't realize you had those up. So, back to the story. The next night, after the captain laughed it off as a prank, thinking that, like, his subordinates were just, like, wanting an upgrade or something with, like, the barracks, just wanted, like, he didn't think, because, like, ghost story, that doesn't sound real, right? So the next night, the captain heard the noises that have been going on the past couple nights, And he actually went out to go check. And then immediately, this horrid smell of sulfur filled the air. And then the next thing he knows, he's being pushed down into the ground and he's being held there and he can't move. And this is like an army captain, okay? He's strong. He can't move. He's being like held onto the ground. And it was an invisible force because no one was there. And they were just holding him there, whatever the invisible force was. He then tried to look up like as much as he could with being pushed down onto the ground. And he wasn't able to look up a lot, but from what he was able to see, all he saw was dozens of pairs of feet floating past him. Okay.
Feet creep me out
And then
already.
That's so funny. Ghostly feet just passing along. Ooh. Only after they floated past did he feel the weight lift off of him. And then he ran back to his quarters because he was terrified. So, after the captain was kind of sought out, this older local elderly man who had been in the area his entire life. When he was telling the man, trying to like figure out what happened, what was going on, the old man told him that the barracks were on the path of the Huakaipo. Got it. Huakaipo. Also, the night marchers. He advised them to close the beachside door and open a different door instead that didn't face the mountains. As soon as he did that, the nightly attacks stopped. And the reason for that being is because the night marchers, like, they're all in formation, you know, they're walking like old routes and stuff throughout the islands. They're like kind of seen as protectors of the islands too, as well. Like they're doing their nightly marches, protect the island, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they go in like a straight line, the barracks were in the middle of like a direct path going from the mountains to the sea.
Hello?
Door. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Hello?
you now. You cut off and you were silent for a bit.
Really?
Yeah, you were moving a little bit, but you weren't saying anything.
I'm like not even.
It like fully went silent. So I think it must have been like a network thing.
Jesus. Well, I don't know where how long that was.
It stopped right when you said that it like walked up to the water. Like, and that's where it stopped. It was, yeah, so where are you?
Going from the water to the mount.
Yeah.
Going from like the water to the mountains. See, I wasn't reading off a script. I was just explaining. I was just talking.
Oh, okay.
So the night marchers, they go from like the edge of the island, so the sea, through the mountains, vice versa. They have their paths, their set paths. They don't really deviate, right? So the fact that the barrack was like in the middle, it was kind of like in the way, and they were just walking straight through it. And opening that other door, then they wouldn't really have a reason to walk through the barracks because the door isn't open for them to easily go through. They would go like around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope it did. But
technical difficulties per usual.
Outside of that World War. Yeah, I had no idea that happened. That's so annoying.
I thought you were just pausing, and then it went on for longer than just a pause, and I was like, oh no.
Dang.
Sorry.
Well, okay. Oh, I forgot about this picture. I don't know if I saved this picture. Hold on. Let me see. I can send it to you real quick if I did. Oh, I did. I forgot to send this to you. Hold on. I'm going to send it over real quick. So chat can be the judge if this picture is real or not. So, just like with the Pele myth, sightings of her, there have been some sightings for the night marchers. Hold on, let me scroll down here. Why? Where did the story go?
Here you go, guys.
Okay, you got the picture up. I'll talk about that one first. So, this one... Okay, let's be fair here. This is Reddit. Reddit's Reddit. You know, take it with a grain of salt.
I'm trying to figure out where this person is in the picture. Right here?
So she's... What do you mean?
Like, where... Because, like, in the zoom in, I can obviously see it, but I can't see it in the zoom out. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, and zoomed out. Yeah, I was... I think I know where it is, because when I look there, I can kind of see the silhouette of it. Towards the upper left. It's hard to... Do I have a... Let me mark this picture up. Hold on a second. Let me mark this. We're opening paint. God, the picture's so small on my screen.
Yeah, it's small. It's just a small image. I'm gonna zoom in on stream. Like,
I'm gonna circle.
I can see where this is where it's supposed to be, but it's not a good enough quality picture where I can tell that that's that, you know? Because I can see something for sure.
Let me see if I can send you.
Baby.
Now this is just what I think, like where I circled it, based off of the zoomed in picture. Okay, so sorry about that.
You didn't circle anything.
Did I send the wrong one?
I think so, because there's nothing circled on this one.
Gosh dang it, I sent you the wrong one. I sent the same picture again. I swore I saved the picture. Okay, I did. Here we go. This time for real.
For real this time.
For real, guys. For real.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I was looking too.
Okay, glad we can agree. Okay, anyway. So about this photo, right? Yeah. This lady, she posted to the Hawaii Reddit. Wait, no, it wasn't the Hawaiian Reddit, but she posted to Reddit. So she was... Crap. Where'd it go? I just had the picture. There we go. Sorry, I have like a couple sightings. So, in 2018, she posted a picture of what she believed to be a night marcher. She and her friend were visiting Oahu for a marathon called the Hunt 100, which is a 100-mile marathon. That sounds horrible. That took directly through the path that night marchers are known to frequent. Now, whether her photo shows a night marcher or just a dark-skinned local wearing a trash bag, or something else, night marchers have been spoken of oral tradition for generations. The first written report of one was actually in 1883. But, yeah, she was running, and she posted this picture herself onto Reddit.
Oh, okay.
How did I'm like on the picture, but on Reddit, and I'm trying to get to the story on Reddit, but I forgot how I did that last time. Because I was able to pull the story up, but I don't remember. Oh, there we go, view post. That would make sense. We're tech savvy, I promise. Okay. So she was pacing in her 100-mile run, and the person who was like pacing her took this photo. And she said, "We never saw anyone passing us, and there were no statues along that trail. My pacer took 2 live photos, and you can kind of see it moving towards them." And she said, "It is not photoshopped or made. This is legit. And after some investigation, we discovered the night marchers who inhabit the trails of Oahu when they were looking into it." And she goes, "I think we're doomed. We saw it the morning of a blood moon."
That's, I mean...
OP, are you still around? This was 7 years ago, too, that she posted that.
Oh, 7 years
Her
ago?
last post...
Did she respond to anyone?
She did, but her last post was 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's still a lot. She did say, "Not the biggest fan of Hawaii. It's nice, but I'm pale." That was one of the things she said. That's funny. Okay. But another story. So this is also from Reddit. The guy goes on to say, "Hi there. I have a..." Wait, nope. My bad. This post is from... I had a lot of Reddit stories. My bad, guys. This post is someone who actually also does a podcast. It's all about folklore. And they were asking natives from Hawaii if they've ever encountered like night marchers, because they were looking into that story for their podcast. And if you do want to check them out, they're called Folklore on the Rocks. But there was actually like quite a few encounters on here. I was like, oh my god. I feel like a lot of the encounters that I've come across, not just on Reddit, but like actual like articles and stuff, people, natives, especially when they're younger, like teens in high school or young adults, they've heard the sound of drums in places they should not be hearing drums at night, and they just get the fuck out of there before anything happens, because they're like, not today. So there's definitely been a lot of those. There was a lot of that on here. Let's see. There was one that really caught my interest. I'm trying to find it. It was about his girlfriend. Oh, found it. I found it. So this person says, "I heard them once, but I don't really talk about it. It happened when I was spending the night at my girlfriend's house. Back around in a place in an island that I can't pronounce. Back during the turn of the century. Her family lived up high overlooking the town. It was out of the way, and so it was like a very quiet night. Basically what happened is around 3 a.m. he awoke from bed by a banging sound outside. He gets up to check it out. When he hears a conch shell blowing, okay? And that wakes his girlfriend up. And then they were both taken aback. God, I didn't realize he had the conch shell too. That's fucking crazy. Then he like looked at her like, did that just fucking happen? And then he said that he heard chanting. And when he heard the chanting, he said, my blood runs cold, and I dropped to the floor. I remember thinking about what I was supposed to do with my eyes. I couldn't remember if I needed to shut them or just stare at the ground. I ended up keeping them open as I figured I was being differential and respectful enough, by being on the ground and like averting his eyes to the ground. He said, I never stole a glance in their direction. I could swear there was moving lights outside the window by the moving glow that he saw on the carpet. And then he said his girlfriend kept her eyes shut, so she didn't see anything. And she kept her eyes shut until the chanting ended. He said the whole thing was surreal. Could have, he said maybe it was an elaborate prank, but I don't know why. No one ever jumped out and said, gotcha. No one ever brought it up. And he did say, so he is married to this specific girlfriend, which is super cute. But he talked to his wife after he posted this on Reddit, and his wife laughed and said that she remembers him freaking out really bad because it scared him more than her, because it wasn't she was not, it was not her first time hearing them. So she was a bit more collected about the whole thing. But that was crazy. I was like, dang. So yeah, there have been accounts of run-ins. Again, not people actually like seeing them, but the conch shell, the drums, the lights, the chanting, all of it. People have heard it. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's scary, dude, you know? Bro, if I ever hear a conch shell and then drumming and chanting and shit, I am not playing around like that. No way. So yeah, those are the night marchers. I actually find them oh my god, fantasy. Fascinating. I find them really fascinating. Because, like, they are protectors of the island. But at the same time, it's like, if you get in their fucking way, they don't hold back, man. Do not get in their way.
Yeah. I don't know if you talked about this when you first started, because I wasn't here, but this is very much related to the night parade that you talked about when we did the Japanese and Chinese folklore.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
So I wonder if there's any relation, or if it's just happenstance that they both have myths that are...
Well, see, because, like, they're both very old. Because this is, like, old Hawaiian, like, passed down generation from generation. I mentioned earlier, it was, like, the 1800s when something was actually written down about it.
Yeah.
So
it could just be a coincidence.
Yeah, see, I don't know, because it's like a lot of the Hawaiian myths are centered around Polynesian lore as well. So I don't know, man. But yeah, no, that is an interesting connection.
Yeah, like when I came back and you were saying it, I was like, wow, this is like very similar to that one she did, like, all that time ago, literally our first real podcast episode.
That is so true. That is so funny.
We're throwing it back, guys.
I didn't even intend for that.
We're throwing it back.
I didn't even intend for that, but like, I really like, I don't know, there's just something about, I really like that, what's the word? Stories like that. Like, it is so creepy, especially to, like, think about, oh, like, what, these creatures that go bump in the night kind of thing makes me not want to go outside at night even more than I already don't want to do.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, it's very fascinating, though. So, yeah, those are the night marchers. Those are the
Beautiful.
night marchers.
Beautiful.
Woo!
Wait, let me. Oh, I didn't check to see if this tea has caffeine. Hopefully it doesn't.
Drinking caffeine tea.
Hopefully mine does not.
Drinking caffeine tea.
I do indeed get stimulated by stimulants.
Well, I took that muscle relaxer for my back, so I was trying to stay awake during podcasts.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Okay. So, my next story is another Mexica one. And
woo!
We first, just to let you know about the main characters, we have, for the main characters, we have the gremlin himself, Tezcatlipoca, again. And we also have his rival, Quetzalcoatl, who is the feathered serpent, beat him down with the stone bat. They were rivals from, like, long ago. They've commonly been depicted as rivals, and rarely they work together. So this is one of those stories where they work together.
Okay.
One of the rare ones. I'm going to be reading, like, the kid version because, one, the illustrations are beautiful.
I love that.
They are beautiful. I'm not too sure. There's like 30 something illustrations, so I'm not showing the whole book. I'm just reading and then showing like a few pieces here and there of the illustrations. But yes. Okay. So we have one day, two gods met on a wild and windy plain. One was Tezcatlipoca, the sky god. The other was Quetzalcoatl, the wind god. They were both very powerful. Sometimes they fought each other, but sometimes, like this time, they helped each other. Tezcatlipoca spoke first. "What took you so long?" he said. "It's the hurricane season," said Quetzalcoatl. "I've been busy. I've been whipping up the waves. This is more important than hurricanes," said Tezcatlipoca. "I'll be the judge of that," said the wind god. "Stop puffing for a moment and listen." "What do you hear?" said Tezcatlipoca. Oh my gosh. I'm going to call him T and Q, guys, because I can't keep saying this name over and over again.
I feel that.
All right.
That is so relatable.
Q listened. "Nothing," he said. "Exactly nothing. No one sings. No one plays a note. The only sound to be heard is the sound of your roaring. We need to wake up the world. And I don't mean hurricanes. We need music." "Music?" said Q. "What does that have to do with me? I have no music." "I know," the sky god said, "but I'll tell you who does have it. The sun. He surrounds himself with singers and music makers who play and sing for him all day long. And he won't share their music with us." "Won't share?" said Q. "That's not fair." "I know," said T. "So listen, Wind. I want you to travel to the House of the Sun. I want you to bring back the best singers and the best musicians. Remember," he said as the wind god unfolded his wings, "we need to wake up the world. We need music." So we get to
Okay.
Q hurls himself into the air. He flew over land and sea, searching the endless coastline for a single beach. He knew there was only one way he could travel to the House of the Sun. Finding the beach at last, he landed and called out the names of the sky god's three servants, Kane and Conch, Water Woman, and the Water Monster. When they were all before him, he ordered them to make a bridge. All right, let me get the pictures. Oh. These are the servants, guys. This is Kane and Conch, Water Woman, and Water Monster, and they make a bridge. And this is how they make a bridge. The servants grabbed hold of each other
Interesting.
and began to grow tall and thin and to twine together like a rope. Kind of a disturbing image. I'm gonna be real. They turned into a strong rope bridge that disappeared into the sky. Hugh climbed the bridge, following it higher and higher as the earth grew smaller and smaller below. Finally, he came to the house of the sun. He could see its towers shimmering in the distance. Getting to them was not so easy, though. He had to find his way through a maze of streets with high walls. He kept getting lost and going around in circles. Nearly ready to give up, he heard a beautiful sound that he had never heard before. It was cool and bright. It was sweet and light. It was music. Hugh followed the sound until it led him out of the maze. Then he saw the musicians in the great courtyard of the sun. The flute players were dressed in gold and yellow. The wandering minstrels wore blue. The lullaby singers were dressed in white, and the singers of love songs wore red. Suddenly the sun saw Hugh. "Stop playing," he cried. "Stop singing. It's that terrible wind. Don't even speak to him, or he will take you back to that silent planet for his." Hugh lifted his wings and called, "Musicians, come with me!" None of them said a word. Again the wind god cried out, "Singers, musicians, the Lord of the Sky commands you." The musicians remained silent. Hugh did not like to be ignored, so he exploded with anger, like 100 hurricanes going off at once. Lightning cracked and thunder boomed and clouds swirled around the house of the sun, turning the daylight into darkness. The wind god roared as if there was no end to his voice. Everything fell down. The sun flickered like a tiny flame. The musicians ran to the wind and huddled in his lap, trembling with fear. Instantly the wind's anger passed. The thunder faded and the clouds vanished. Hugh took the musicians in his arms and left the house of the sun, moving through the maze as if it were not there. The wind god was filled with great happiness as he followed the sky bridge back to earth. He felt like a father carrying his children home. The earth could also feel that something new was coming, something it needed and had been secretly wishing for. As the wind god came nearer, the earth let out a slow sigh of relief. Its fruit began to ripen, and its flowers began to bloom with new, deeper colors. The whole planet seemed to be waking up from a long sleep. Finally, Q touched down on the earth with the musicians and singers. They looked around curiously at the silent, waiting planet. Then they began to play. Through forests and valleys and deserts and oceans they wandered, filling the air with music. Soon people learned to sing and play, and so did the trees and birds, the whales and wolves, the running streams, the crickets and frogs, and every other creature. From dawn to dusk the melody spread until music covered the earth. The wind god was pleased. So was the sky god. The musicians were happy with their new home, and ever since that day, the earth has been filled with music. So that is the story of how music came to the world. This particular story is written by Hal Ober, and it's illustrated by his wife, Carol Ober, or daughter, I'm not sure. They're related because they have the same last name, I'm sure. And the illustrations are beautiful. They really, truly are. I love them. Like the colors, the way she lined it up. It's really beautiful. I also have a picture here depicting them dancing together, the gods, E and Q. There they are, dancing. And so this story was originally from a very ancient document. So it's inspired by a poem that was found in a manuscript from the 16th century. And a researcher, Irene Nicholson, puts it in her Mesoamerican mythology book, and that is where it is thought Hal Ober got inspiration to make this story. So, yeah, it's inspired by manuscript from the 16th century, and it really represents just how important music was in Mesoamerican spiritual and cultural life, both then and now. If you've ever heard, Latin music, it's very much a big part of the culture. And it showed how music was like a connection to nature and to gods, and it also was a big part of Mexica's like culture for like ghost songs, for rituals. Um, they're called cantares, and there's one that describes the earth as a place of unhappiness, and that people should be proud of their connection to music because it like connects them with the supernatural realm where there's no suffering, which is why music is so beautiful, and that's why it like touches people the way it does, is like how they explain it in this song. And it also like the way that it talks about like the birds started singing, the creeks, like the river water, what made like a song, and it kind of goes back to a theory among many historians that music, the first forms of music, were created from natural phenomena like bird song, rushing water, thunder, those kind of things.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And the author of this children's book also really encapsulated like color and how it represents different types of music, because that's truly how it was in there, like historically. So like red represents passion, love, which is it still does today. So red clad singers sang love songs, and then white clad singers, which white is associated with like serenity, that kind of thing. They sang lullabies. So it's interesting to see how like similar color association is between an ancient civilization and like what we would think of today.
Yeah.
So this story was it was very fun, and I loved the illustrations. And I never even thought about like someone having a myth about the creation of music. Like there's so many different myths that we just don't know, cuz for the most part I like dove into Greek mythology growing up. There's just so many other like civilizations, whether they're here still or not. Like there's so much to dive into.
I feel like that's the case for a lot of people, just because of like also school.
Yeah,
Like, a lot of
yeah.
schools will talk about Greek
They
or
focus
Roman.
on Greek or Roman mythology, yeah.
So, no, yeah, that's why I was like the Hawaiian ones. I'm like, Hawaii's technically a state. We ain't learning about this. That's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I want to learn about this.
Even when I was doing research about like which region I wanted to do, there are tons of places like in America that we could dive into, like the Appalachians. Like that would be crazy to like look into. New Mexico has a bunch of really cool ones. Yeah, there's so many different places even in America that we could like really dive deeper into and find even more about. But even like this like societies that are completely gone now, that have been like completely abolished from the world, other than like through storytelling and like passing down things. There's so many other places like that, like Vikings, like the Vikings, like their mythology and like legends. There's so many other like people like that I would love to dive into.
Yeah.
We need to do one of these every season. I mean, I feel like we have been, but
we should. Yeah, we kind of have, not even intentionally, because we just enjoy it.
Yeah, but there's so much, and like as we keep going, I feel like we're gonna find even more obscure things, and that'll be like so much fun. I think to like dive into things that no one really knows about. But yeah, that is my my little spiel on the creation of music through the Mexica eyes.
I love that.
Yeah. So my last Mexica legend that I'm going to talk about next will be Mayan.
Woo!
Right, let me close that.
I love that. I have one more Hawaiian one. I'm excited. These guys are super cute, super adorable. Let me pull that up here. They're so cute. I love it. Okay. Let me... Hold on. I know this word. I know what they're called. I just need a sec.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Me... Oh my lord, I'm blanking. Words have been so hard today. I know this. No, not the Mendez brothers. Thank you. I'm looking it up. I can't remember. It's like, I definitely know it. Like, I know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, just get to how to say it. Come on. Yeah. The Menahu! The Menahoon! Menahu. Menahoon? Menahu. The Menahu! That's right. That's right. I remember now. Okay. Are you ready now?
Yes, I'm ready.
The Menahu. Okay, so these guys are... I forgot to send you the pictures!
Yeah, I was gonna say. But I didn't know if you had any, and I didn't want to interrupt your brain, bro.
I'll show you the pictures of them themselves first, and then when I get to what they built,
okay,
or said to build, I will send those, like, individually to not get them mixed up.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Pictures better be JPEGs or PNGs. They should be. I hope.
Yep.
Yeah, yep, okay, that's what I thought. These guys are so cute, though. They're so small and cute.
Yeah, they're so little. They're little guys.
The only reason I'm not sending you the pictures right away is because I actually don't remember what order I talk about them in and which one goes to which one.
Oh, okay.
So... but okay, anyway. So these cute little adorable people are the Menahoon. No, wait. I literally... What did I say they were called?
Menhune?
I swear. Is that what I said?
I don't know. That's just how I would say it. Like, looking at the spelling. That's how I would say it. I don't know how it's actually said.
Let me look at the pronunciation thing. Menahoon, I think is what it is. That sounds right for some reason.
Okay.
Pronunciation. Menehune. Menehune, Menehune, Menehune. Okay, Menehune. I don't know why I keep mixing that up. Okay, sorry. Menehune. So, in Hawaiian mythology, the Menehune are tiny people who live in remote areas of the islands, spending their days building houses and other structures. These are skilled. Oh, sorry, big yawn. Skilled craftspeople who are said to have dwelled on the highland long before the arrival of Polynesian voyagers. So these are like old school, back to the back, original Hawaiians, okay? The Menehune. And they were building such things as the Alekoko fish pond, which I'll show later, and like ancient stone shrines on Necker Island, which I will also show that later because it's really cool. So they're described as short, often depicted as tiny, like I think 2 to 3 feet is what I read on a different website. They're jovial, fairy-like men with round bellies and wearing red loincloths and feathered helmets. The Menehune are actually said to be like serious, hardworking folk who only come out at night to avoid regular Hawaiians. While they do enjoy kava, they're most famous for their skill at stone masonry and their ability to construct amazing works in a single night. Single night, guys, single night. While they have been documented on all the islands, they were said to be most common on the northern islands, like Oahu. They are said to have built, again, the Alekoko fish pond and some other important like temples and things of that nature. On Oahu and other islands. The largest remaining temple on Oahu, sorry, the comma was throwing me off. The largest remaining temple on Oahu, which is one of the largest remaining in Hawaii, I might add, is the Heiau? And it was said to be built in a single night by the Menehune. By the Menehune. So basically the biggest like temple on Oahu that's still standing was said to be built by them in a single night. So, I do have some really short stories out of the same book as the Pele, the volcano goddess. So hopefully the cold reads out of the book go a little bit better than the other one did. Give me 1 second. It's taking forever to load. Come on. I think I clicked on it too many times. It doesn't like me right now. I got very impatient. Okay, well, certainly picked a great time to freeze. Didn't even freeze on the story. Well, I guess I'll continue. Oh, okay, just completely just did not open. There we go. Okay. So, going on with that, sorry, I had to get my train of thought. Continuing on with the Menehunes, this also correlates with the brownies. So, what are the brownies? The Hawaii is the real home of the brownies, or was the home of the brownies. and it was an adventurous nomadic tribe that was known to the Hawaiians long before all the different colonizations and things of that nature. Now, it would be unreasonable to expect so great a range of nationalities and circumstances among the... Okay, you know what? Just forget I said that. It's like the book is obviously a really smart book, and the way the writer wrote is like smart people talk.
Yeah.
And smart people talk is just not something my brain can handle right now. It can't handle big words. I'm sorry. So, the brownies. Tradition naturally represents them as one race and all nimble workers, not a gentleman dude or a policeman in the whole lot. Unlike the inquisitive and mischievous athletes of present fame, the original and genuine brownies were also known as the Menahues. Okay. So not only are these little creatures known as that, but the like original Hawaiians, brownies, were also the Menahues. And with like the myth of it all, which I'll get into later, is that they are the same and that the original Menahues are just the traditional Hawaiians, but they were smaller and nimble workers, fast workers, stuff like that, okay? So it all connects. But brownies known as the Menahues are referred to as an industrious race. In fact, it was their alleged power to perform a marvelous amount of labor in short space of time that has fixed them in the minds of Hawaiians, many of whom point to certain traces of their work in various parts of the island to, like... Oh my god. Many of whom point to certain traces of their work in various parts of the islands as, like, claim to their existence. Let me see here. There was definitely something in this little small intro portion that I wanted to say. I should have just copied. I should have just, like, written that just short piece I wanted to share instead of...
Yeah.
Okay. So, in Hawaiian legend of Kumahanua, Fernander states that the Polynesians were designated as, quote, people descendants from the Menehune, son of Loanu, and it disappeared as a national name so long ago. However, the subsequent legends have changed it to a term of reapproach, representing them at times as a separate race and sometimes a race of dwarves, skillful laborers, and artful cunning. And if you got lost in that quote, basically he's just saying that what was once a race long ago, because of legends and myths, like I was saying before, are represented as these like dwarf skillful laborers that pictures shown on the screen are. So there have been different accounts. This is where the myths come into play. So we have the Moke Manu's account. The Menahues were supposed to have been wonderful people, small of stature, of great activity. They were always united in doing any service required of them. It was their rule that any work undertaken must be completed in one night. Otherwise, it would be left unfinished, as they did not labor twice on the same work. Hence, the origin of saying some beautiful Hawaiian words I don't know, translated to, in one night and by dawn it's finished. There's, no one knows whence they came, though tradition says they were the original people of the Hawaii Islands. They are thought to have been, supernatural beings governed by someone higher in rank than themselves, whom they recognized as having power and authority over them, that assigned them to the mountains and hills where they lived permanently. They were said to be the only inhabitants of the islands up to their time of Papa and Wakai, and were invisible to everyone but their own descendants, of those connected with them in some way. Many people could hear the noises and hums of their voices, but the gift of seeing them with the naked eye was denied to those not akin to them. They were always willing to do the bidding of their descendants, and their supernatural powers enabled them to perform wonderful work. Now, I don't know if it's pea or pie, but we're going to go with pie. Pie's watercourse. Pie was originally a man living in in Hawaii who wanted to construct a mano, or a dam, across this river. And watercourse, therefrom to a point near Kaikaioala. Having settled upon the best locations for his proposed work, he went to the mountains and ordered all of the Menehunes that were living near to prepare stones for the dam and watercourse. And of course, they were portioned off for work, some to gather stones and others to cut them. All the materials were ready in no time, and Pi settled upon the night when the work was to be done. When the time came, he went to the point where the dam was to be built, and he waited. At the dead of night, he heard noises and the hum of voices of the Menehunes on their way back, each of whom was carrying a stone. The dam was duly constructed, every stone fitting in its proper place. And the stone, or watercourse, also laid around the bed. Before the break of day, the work was complete, and the water of the river was turned by the dam into the watercourse on the flatlands of Waimea. When the work was finished, Pi served out the food for the Menehunes, which consisted of shrimps, this being the only kind to be had in sufficient quantity to supply each with a fish to himself. They were well supplied and satisfied, and at dawn returned to the mountains, rejoicing, and the hum of their voices gave rise to the saying. The hum of the voices of the Menehunes at Ukapele started. Oh, there was no English translation for that. Oh, this is the English translation for that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the English translation. The hum of the voices of the Menehunes at Pukapale startled the birds of the pond of Kauai, whatever, at Kulapoko, Oahu. So basically, they were just talking about themselves and what they did. Okay. Kind of like talking in third person, like I do, I guess. And yes, the watercourse of Pi can still be seen there today. I actually think that might be one of my pictures. Oh, that's not my doc. That's the story. Let me see. Whoopsies. Oh, I think it's a different pond that I have. My bad. Well, if you want to see it, you can find it. I just so happen to have a different one that I am going to be showing. They built a lot of those, okay? Like all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I just have a couple more short ones. There's the Laka's Adventures, where a chief lived. Why? So a chief lived in a specific part of Hawaii. In Maui. And he took him and his wife. What? Maui. He took to him a wife. Oh, see, I hate when they write like that. He took to him a wife named whatever. Just fucking say his wife's name is whatever. Okay, so dude had a wife, lived in Maui. Okay, in due time, a boy was born. Right? Okay, he had a son. And the mom took care of the son. Cool. She called him Laka Wahiola, and he was greatly petted by his parents. One day, his father went to Hawaii in search for this specific toy for his son, okay? He went to all the different, went to a different island, okay, for it. And he was killed in a cave while he was gone. Damn, that was a dark turn. Okay. After a long absence, Laka asked for his father, and his mother referred him to his grandmother, who, on being questioned, told him that his father went to Hawaii and was supposed to be dead. Laka then asked for means by which he could search for his father. His grandmother said, "Go to the mountains and look for the tree that has leaves shaped like a moon on the night of Hilo, or Hokaka. I don't know what Hilo or Hokaka is, I'm sorry. Such is the tree for a canoe." I don't know enough about the Hawaiian lore to know what Night of Hilo is, my bad. Basically, Grandma told him, go to this tree at this certain time of night. The tree's for a canoe, okay? Laka followed his advice and went to the mountains to find the tree. Finding a suitable one for the canoe, he commenced to cut it, and in the morning by sundown, he had felled it to the ground. This accomplished, he went home. The next day, returning to his surprise, he could not find the fallen tree, so he cut down another, with the same result. Laka was tricked for 7 days. This man kept doing this for 7 days and didn't learn his lesson to protect the canoe? And in his perplexity, he consulted his grandmother, who sent him off with the same advice as before, to look for the crescent-shaped leaf. He went to the mountains again and found the desired tree. Before cutting it, he dug a big hole on the side where it would just fall in when he was done. Upon cutting the tree, it fell right into the hole as designed, and he jumped into it and lay in it waiting for the person or persons who were basically taking the damn wood that he cut down the past 7 days. While thus waiting, he heard someone talking about raising the tree and returning it to its former position, followed by someone chanting as follows, and it is a very long chant in Hawaiian. I am sorry, I am not even going to attempt that. There is no English translation. That's great too. When this appeal ended, there was a hum and a noise, and in short time, the place was filled with a band of people who lift the tree, but it would not move. Laka then jumped out from his place of hiding and caught hold of two of the men, and threatened to kill them for raising again the trees he had cut for his canoe. One of them told Laka that if they were killed, nobody would be able to make a canoe for him, nor would anybody pull it to the beach. But if they were spared, they would willingly do it for him. Of course, Laka, provided Laka would first build a big and long shed of sufficient size to hold the canoe, and prepares sufficient food for the men. Laka, gladly consenting, released them and returned to his home and built a shed on the level, on ground level. Then he went up to the woods, saw the canoe ready and complete. The Menehus told Laka that it would be brought to the Halau
Hello.
that night. At the dead of night, the hum of the voices of the Menehus was heard. This was the commencement of the lifting of the canoe. It was not dragged, but held up by hand. The second hum of the voices brought the canoe to another location in Hawaii, and at the third hum, the canoe was carefully laid down. Food and fish were spread out for the workers, and at dawn, the Menehus returned to their homes. Kauahalahu was named of the halahu that remains of the foundation of which were to be seen a few years ago. Oh my god! There's another canoe one. I honestly don't think I want to read through it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Good at building canoes and stuff. Okay, I will read, so I'm gonna skip one, but I am gonna read this other one because it has a little saying thing, but that's actually in English and not all Hawaiian, so. As Heiau builders. Okay. The Menehus are credited with constructing numerous temples. They're ancient temples. Okay. So this is about the ancient temples. The ancient temples kind of all around is pointed out as an instance of their marvelous work. The place selected for the site of the temple was on a grassy plain. The stones in the nearest neighborhood were, for some reason, not deemed suitable for the work. So those of a certain valley in Hawaii, distant some 12 miles, were selected. Tradition says that the Menehus were placed in a line covering the entire distance from Pololu to Hanoipu, whereby the stones were passed from hand to hand for the entire work. Work was begun at the quiet night, and at the crow in the morning it was finished. Cockcrow in the morning it was finished. Thus, in one night, the ancient temple of Mukini was built. Another temple in Pepikeo, the particular peculiarity of the work being that the stones had brought together by residents of that part of the district by direction of the chief, but that in one night the Menehunes gathered together and built it. The chief and his people were surprised on coming the next morning to resume their labor to find that the ancient temple had been completed. So, Hawaiians believe to have been constructed by no one else than the Menehus. It is on the top of a ledge in the face of a perpendicular cliff with a continuous inaccessible cliff behind its reaching hundreds of feet above. No one has ever been able to reach it either from above or far below. And the marvel of how the material, which appears to be seashore stones, was put in place. So, there's a specific place in Hawaii. I cannot pronounce the city or island or anything. I
It's
can't
okay.
even attempt.
It's
There's
okay.
so many words there. But in this specific place, basically it's saying that there is a building there. It's on top of a ledge on a perpendicular cliff that you can access, and it's hundreds of feet above, and no one's ever been able to reach it from above or below. And it was built out of seashore stones. Still there. The little poem or saying or song doesn't say what it is, but is, oh, the 4,000 gods, the 40,000 gods, the 400,000 gods, the file of gods, the assembly of gods. Oh, gods of these woods, of the mountain and the knoll and the water dam, oh, come. That is the little chant.
I would.
So, yeah, that's the, like I said, there's more little myths and stories about the
There seems to be a
Menehunes, but we're
lot
not getting into
about
all of it.
them.
Yeah, they're, from what it sounded like, them and the night marchers are like the most well-known in Hawaiian folklore,
Okay.
especially to outsiders.
They very vaguely remind me of like the Borrowers, you know, or like brownies. The Borrowers is like a movie about these like brownies or fairies or whatever, and they like are really good craftsmen, and they like steal stuff from the house to make like a bunch their own stuff. Basically, it's giving me very much that. Not like a lot, because there are other things, but same kind of idea in terms of like the handiness.
They were. Yeah.
Oh, hi Polka! Thank you for the raid. Welcome in.
Hi guys. Oh, I just accidentally exited out of the podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm still going. I'm about to send you over a picture. Okay.
Yeah, as you were like talking about it, it very much was giving brownies or like borrowers is what they're. I'll have to show you the movie because it's a cute movie.
I said, like, what did it say earlier? That the early Hawaiians or brownies, also known as the Menehunes.
Okay, so yeah, they are brownies. It's based off of a book, and I'll just show you.
So it says, unlike the inquisitive and mischievous of like current time, the original and genuine brownies were the Menehunes.
Oh, okay. So it
different from what they're represented as now.
Yeah, so the borrowers are more mischievous. So they're like the idea of like the craftiness and like that sort of stuff, with the added mischievous like side. So
okay, that's kind of cool that they took inspo from them. So these are shy creatures, little guys living in caves and forests in the back of valleys. They are actually recorded on the first census of Hawaii from 1820. It is genuinely thought due to this that the Menehune may have been a Hawaiian name for the first people who migrated here, and they were simply driven into the mountains by the most recent wave of migration. The same one that is described in the tale of another Hawaiian myth that I can't pronounce. The hypothesis goes that during the chaotic period of the 1800s, Menehune might have simply been swept into the remainder of the general population of Hawaiians. Didn't take much to be shorter than a Hawaiian, after all. The missionaries from New England described the first Hawaiians they met as terrifying giants. It's believed that the Menehunes still live deep in the forest, occasionally making their presence known by playing tricks on anyone who unknowingly ventures close to their settlements. Several sightings have been reported, but so far there's been no, definitive proof of the shadowy little L guy's existence. So, I have a little what the fuck
what the fuck
section here. Apparently, there's a macadamia nuts brand called the Menehunes.
Oh, okay.
Based off of these guys, and I love macadamia nuts, so I'm like, okay, now I gotta
Wait,
get
I want to know what their packaging is. Let me pull it up.
Oh yeah, I didn't even look into that.
They're nuts?
Yeah, macadamia nuts.
Oh my gosh! It's a little guy!
Is it?
Yeah, here, I'll send a picture.
Oh, they make macadamia nut chocolate too. Oh my god, it's so cute! Ooh, yeah, that looks really fucking good.
Let me put it on screen.
And they're the oldest existing manufacturer of macadamia nut candies in Hawaii. That's so cute. Oh god, that sounds so good right now. I haven't had a macadamia nut in so long because my boyfriend doesn't like them, and macadamia nuts are actually kind of expensive.
This is the guy, guys. Just a little guy.
They have most likely been the inspiration for the Scooby-Doo movie. For the tiki demons that were in the movie.
Ooh.
The movie Aloha Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
They're most likely the inspo for that. And, apparently, I didn't know this, but you know how TikTok has rabbit holes?
Yeah.
There's a Hawaii TikTok rabbit hole.
Ooh,
and,
okay.
Apparently there are people on there who argue that Hawaiians colonized the Menehune.
Oh. Interesting.
I was like, that's crazy. That is that's weird. That doesn't make sense to me. At all. There have been sightings. Again, back to Reddit. This was 9 months ago. This guy talked about how his fiancée swears that she saw one dash across the living room floor on a random Friday afternoon. Because she just doesn't make up stories. At first, she thought it was a rat. But, it was darker colored, and it had arms and legs. And it was like about a foot tall. It also, came inside through the doggy door. Let's see. He described it as looking like a gremlin. And it completely, just vanished. So, Avi, take that how you will. But there's, on that whole Reddit page, there's just people talking about, sightings and other weird Hawaiian stuff. Because Hawaii, I don't know, they got a lot of spirits running around there. That's some crazy shit. Got a lot of spirits. Okay. Dude, I've been trying to hold going potty, but I can't. And if I'm gonna get into these pictures, I gotta go pee real quick.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
It's like, I'm almost done, but I can't hold it.
It's okay. I'll talk to them about the borrowers. So if y'all haven't seen this movie, it's so good. Okay, I just looked at the cast, and I totally forgot Tom Felton, who plays Draco Malfoy, is in this movie. I completely forgot. So is Professor Slughorn and Arthur Weasley. Those three are all in this movie, and I completely forgot. I mean, it's really old. It's an old movie. It's so cute though. It's so freaking cute. Little people, big adventure. And the way that they did the sets and everything, like, it had to been so. I don't know how they did it actually. I would love to know if it's like all green screen, because it's like an old. See, how old is it? 1997. So it was made before I was born, or released before I was born, which is crazy. And it's got what's his face? John Goodman. Yeah, it has John Goodman in it as well. Another great one. If y'all have ever seen Righteous Gemstones, he's really funny in that one. That one is such a good. I mean, it's not for everyone. Wait a minute, freaking House is in it. Why did I not remember that House was in The Borrowers? Oh my goodness, I totally forgot he was in The Borrowers. I immediately have to message someone. I completely forgot. Which I need to rewatch House. I'm such a medical drama.
With his British accent, I'm assuming, and not his fake American one.
Yeah, it's a British produced film.
Dude, I don't think I've watched anything with his legit British accent.
You need to watch The Borrowers. I think you'd love it, honestly. It's so cute. Even like watching it with your like cousins, your little cousins. I think they would enjoy it as well. It's a kids movie, so.
Aw.
It's a book for like 10-year-olds maybe younger actually, like 8, 7. I'm not really sure about reading levels. I was not a reading level person. I was, reading above where I was supposed to, so I have no idea what like you're supposed to be when you read things, but it was like in the same vein as like that one book it's like similar vibes as Matilda. I think the same age range as that, maybe. But yeah, you gotta watch it. It's so good. I don't know where you can watch it because I don't think it's like available anywhere. It's so I don't know if you heard, but it was released before we were born.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Well, when you were listing off, I was like, oh. I'm sending you another picture of the little guys.
Yeah.
Because I forgot I had this one and it's really cute. I'm almost done sending the pic. Okay. So just a couple of their they are credited for.
That other little guy one you sent is not gonna work. It's not the right file. I also think it might be AI generated.
Oh.
I can't tell. It looks a little
I can't
sussy.
tell either. We'll just delete it.
It's giving the vibes. But I can show all the landscape ones you sent me. Let me.
Yeah. I'm starting with the long rectangle dirt one.
Okay, I'll pull that one up first then.
God, I cannot pronounce this.
Here we go.
So this is, I think, Iola? Anyway, So Hawaiians have built many stone-lined things like this for to irrigate ponds and things of that nature. But it was very rare to be dressed in stone to line ditches like this. So this was 120 finely cut basalt blocks that line about 200 feet of the outer wall of this ditch. Which make it not just exceptional, but basically like the acme. This is a quote from an archaeologist. So I don't know. I send to you because I feel dumb. I've been horrible with quotes today. Reading them out loud. How do you say that?
All I can think of is acne. That's not what it is.
That's why I said acme. Basically,
I'll look it up.
Quote
acme.
From this archaeologist.
It's acme. It is
acme.
just like it.
Acme.
Yeah.
Acme. Okay. So this archaeologist said, quote, "The acme of stone-faced ditches." But yeah, 120 finely cut basalt blocks for 200 feet is because of the quality and everything for it. It has been attributed to the Menehune, the little Menehune people. And then I also have, I need to go back and see. Can you do the picture under that next, please?
Yes, I can. Big water area.
You. Yeah. This is Necker Island. If you remember earlier, it kind of come up.
Yeah.
But this small island to the northwest of an island in Hawaii is said to be where the Menehu fled to when more Polynesian settlers arrived. The stone structures on this otherwise fairly uninhabitable island are said to be the work of the Menehu. This is just the outside, but I don't think I saved the aerial picture, but it is it's really nice. It's pretty. It's really pretty. So this island is also accredited to them and where they fled. Then we have... Did I not send the fishing pond? Oh, I thought I did. Did you get the fishing pond photo?
Is it
a pond with a bunch of grass?
No. There's a sign one, and then there... Oh, that one. Yeah.
There we go.
Wait, I thought you did send it. Yeah, I have it saved already.
You know what? You know what it was? I think I sent it with the other one, and I deleted that one.
Oh,
so probably
okay.
deleted both.
Yeah. Well, I saved it already, so we're fine. I got it up.
Cool. So, the fishing pond, Hiea Fish Pond? Hiea Fish Pond? I don't 100% know how to say that. It's a historic site that anyone can visit, tour, and on certain days in the summer fish. One of Oahu's most historic Hawaiian fish ponds. The fish pond hosts community fishing events on several days each summer where people can cast their fishing rods into the 800-year-old fish pond. And it's currently under restoration. It's a source of food for the ancient Hawaiians who live in this area. The walled fish pond encloses 88 acres of brackish water. It is built on a fringing reef extending from the shoreline to the Kaneohe Bay. The ocean-facing wall of the fish pond is 1.3 miles long, forming a circle around it. So this is also attributed to them. And then the one with the sign and the big mountain rocky thing after it, those are the same area if you want to pull them together.
The last two, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, let me...
Sorry.
Fine. Make sure before I...
This last one is really pretty. I think it's so cool.
Here we go.
Perfect. So this is a state historic site. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, but it's the second largest such temple on Oahu. So we talked about the first one earlier. This is the second largest. The structure located in the windward Oahu town of Kaleua measures 140 feet by 180 feet with walls up to 30 feet in height, built on the eastern edge, more places in Hawaii. Another site important to the Hawaiian culture. It is thought to be more than 400 years old. So, like, the rocky remnants they built the temple, and the remnants is what's left. There we go. God, words are hard. So, yeah, Hawaii has a lot of mythical lore in its culture, spiritual lore in its culture, and it's really fascinating. I really like it, and it's like cool to kind of think about how the locals are also like into it too. I that just sounded weird, but yeah, it's just really cool to see. And these little guys are adorable. I think they're adorable. I think they're so cute.
They are very cute.
They're shy,
The little guys.
hard workers. They get
I'll
shit
put the little
done.
guys again.
Yeah, because they're so cute.
This one kind of looks like a Buddha baby.
It kind of does with the bigger dummy. Aww. Funny.
Cute.
So, yeah.
That is Lila's last Hawaiian myth / legend.
The Menehunes.
Wow.
See, I freaking knew it. I just was stupid. I don't know what else to say.
You weren't stupid.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Oh, man.
Alright. I shall get my last one ready.
But it was so cool, because, like, listening to all the videos and reading, like, the books and stuff. So cool.
There are so many mythology books, man. Like, geez Louise. If only I could read, like, lightning speed, you know?
Yeah. Speed reading is a trait in Sims you can unlock. Wish that was, like,
Wish that was real life, bro.
Yeah. That'd be so cool.
Alrighty.
So cool.
I have my last one ready.
Yay!
Alright, guys. We're moving on to the Mayans now. So, this story comes from a Mayan text called Popol Vuh, or Popol Vuh, which translates to Book of the Community. And it's considered one of the most important sources of information on Mayan mythology. It was originally preserved through oral tradition, and then it was eventually recorded in writing around 1550. So it makes this not just this story, there's multiple, but this is in that text. It makes it it makes it the oldest Maya myth to have been preserved in its entirety. So this is one of the rare cases where we have a myth completely recorded and preserved for hundreds of years, and we can like fully know that this is what the myth was, which is really cool. So here is the story. On the left, we have the first set of twins. There's 2 sets. And then on the right, we have the second set of twins. So. Oh, thank you for the follow.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
You scared me. Oh, we hit our follower goal.
Welcome.
Sick.
Woo!
Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We are just about to read a story about the Mayan twin gods. 2 sets of twins, actually. Sorry if you, by chance, can recognize that I am pronouncing things incorrectly. Sorry. Sorry in advance, everybody.
At least you tried. I just, got fed up and stopped, and I was just like, another place in Hawaii that I can't pronounce.
It's alright. Okay. In the darkness, before creation was complete, the gods sent a great flood that wiped out humanity. The sky had been formed by the Maker, mother and father of all, the great feathered serpent. The gods had raised the mountains of the earth from the face of the murmuring sea, but the creation of humanity had been a dismal failure. Humans made of wood babbled senselessly before crumbling away, so the gods made puppets without strings, carved as humans. But their wooden heads were empty. They couldn't remember their makers with praise, so the gods sent the flood. In this time of darkness were born twins named 1 and 7 Hunapu. These boys were great ball players. They were working out in their ball court with messengers when messengers arrived from the Lords of Death. These messengers were owls. The Lords of Death want you to come play ball with them in Xibalba, said the owl messengers. They think it will be a lot of fun. You're supposed to bring your rubber ball, your arm guards, and hip protectors. The twins asked if they could say goodbye to their mother first. The lords have sent for us, they told her. They want us to bring our gear, but we're going to hide it instead. We'll be back for it later. So they tied up their ball and their equipment and hid it up under the roof of their mother's house. Then they set out for Xibalba, the kingdom of the Lords of Death. At the bottom of a cliff, they crossed a river of spikes, then a river of blood and a river of pus. They came to the crossroads, where they made their first mistake. They took the Black Road, the road of the Lords of Death, and when they came to Xibalba, they made their second mistake. Approaching the throne room of the Lords of Death, they greeted them cheerfully by name. Only these weren't the Lords of Death at all, but just carved wooden replicas. Got you, shouted the real Lords of Death, laughing hysterically. Really, it's great to have you here. Tomorrow we play ball, but for now, relax. Have a seat. They gestured at a bench nearby, and the twins sat down. Only the bench was scorching hot. The twins shot up again, clutching their behinds. The lords convulsed in laughter once more. Why don't you go to your room and rest, said the Lords of Death, when they had composed themselves. We'll send you cigars and a torch. So when they went to their bedroom, the torch and cigars were brought. You'll have to give these back in the morning, the twins were told. But the cigars were already lit, so they smoked them, and in the morning the Lords of Death weren't pleased. You failed the test, they said. The penalty is death. And so the twins were sacrificed. Their bodies were buried under the ball court there in Xibalba.
Jeez.
But the head of 1 Hunapu was placed in the fork of a calabash tree. The tree bore fruit, and it was impossible to distinguish the head of 1 Hunapu from the calabashes. The tree was put off limits by the Lords of Death, but a maiden named Blood Woman heard that its fruit was sweet. She couldn't see why it should wither and die untasted. So she approached the tree, and the head of 1 Hunapu spoke to her. What do you want with a skull and a tree? He asked. You don't want an old hunk of bone. Oh, but I do, she replied. Very well then, said one Hunapu. Hold out your hand.
Mood.
And he spat into her palm. I'm just a skull, he said, but even the greatest lord wastes away to the bone when he dies. But his seed, his spit, lives on in his sons and daughters. Leave Xibalba or turn to the land of the living. You will see. And the saliva of one Hunapu grew into twin babies in the womb of the maiden blood woman. And her father, seeing she was with child, betrayed her to the lords of death. Ask her who is the father, demanded the lords of death. I have been with no man, said Blood Woman. Very well then, said her father, disbelieving. You will be sacrificed. Take her away. He instructed the owls, messengers and minions of the lords of death. Bring her heart to the lords in this bowl. The owls carried off the bowl and the maiden and went to do the deed. But the Blood Woman spoke to them, saying, Think before you do this. What's in my belly grew all by itself when I spoke to the head of one Hunapu. But we were told to bring back your heart, said the owls. Take them the sap of this tree instead, suggested Blood Woman, pointing at a nearby trunk oozing a sticky, blood-red liquid. She showed them how to roll it in the bowl until it took the shape of a human heart. This is a more fitting sacrifice for the lords of death, she said, and the owls took the bowl and brought it to the throne room of Xibalba. And the lords of death touched the ball of sap and came away with blood-red fingers. They put it on the fire, and it flared up with a sweet fragrance that was pleasing to the lords of Xibalba. Meanwhile, the owls escaped never to return, and they showed the way to the maiden, Blood Woman, and she too escaped Xibalba. And in the time she gave birth to twins in the house of her mother-in-law. These two, Hunapu and Xibalanque, were special from the start. So these are the twins on the right now. So noisy were they that their older cousins had them thrown out of the house. They slept soundly on an anthill. Then the jealous cousins tormented Hunapu and Xibalanque, and the twins turned the tables on them. Tricking them into climbing a tree, they turned them into monkeys. So silly were they that even their own mother laughed at them. Now this was in the time when the flood had washed away the humans made of wood. But if there were no humans, you might ask, who are Xibalanque and Hunapu? Well, they are heroes, which is to say on their way to becoming gods, so all was darkness. There wasn't any sun, just a faint glow in the east. At this point, a braggart of a bird named Seven Macaw appointed himself both sun and moon. Look at me, he crowed. I'm so bright I light up the world. My teeth are covered with glittering jewels, my nose is like a beacon, and my very nest is made of flashing metal. In truth, his brightness did not extend much beyond the tree in which he perched, but the audacity of this minor deity was an affront to the proper order of creation. The earth will never be peopled at this rate, said Xibalanque and Hunapu. As long as that bird carries on like this, there will never be a true sun. We'd better bring him down. So they took their blowgun and knocked Seven Macaw right off his perch. The dart hit him in the jaw and he fell to the ground, and Hunapu ran to grab him. But it was Hunapu who got grabbed. Seven Macaw yanked his right arm out of the socket, clutching the severed limb and also rubbing his jaw, which ached from the blowgun dart. Seven Macaw limped home. Those low-down tricksters have broken my jaw, he moaned. They've knocked my teeth loose. But let's see how they like it when I've got this arm roasting over an open fire. The tricksters weren't done yet. They materialized an old man and an old woman and told them to act like grandparents. We'll be following along behind you, acting like kids, they said, but we'll be in charge. When Seven Macaw saw them coming, he asked the old man and woman if those bumptious boys at their heels were their children. No, they're our grandchildren, they said, tricking Seven Macaw. They survive on whatever we can scrape together, practicing cures. What sort of cures do you do? Asked Seven Macaw. Can you do something about my teeth? They're killing me. Our specialty is pulling worms from teeth, said the aged two, and that's your problem, no doubt. Toothworms. We recommend a nice set of false teeth. But my teeth are my pride and joy, said Seven Macaw. It's because of my fine teeth that everyone knows I'm a great lord. Well, the fake ones will be very nice, they told him. We'll make them out of ground up bones. So Seven Macaw allowed them to pull his teeth, and in their place they put corn, not the promised bone. And the corn was soft, and Seven Macaw's face became misshapen, and the light died out of his eyes. Hunahpu got his arm back. Now the twins decided to make a garden, but every time they cleared away the underbrush, the forest animals put it back again. They tried to snare the animals, but had no success until at last they caught a rat. They held his tail over the fire, which is why rats have no hair back there. They choked him, which is why rats' eyes bulge out, and they were starting to kill him when the rat protested, talking fast to save his hide.
Jeez.
Look, you two, aren't cut out to be gardeners anyway, he squealed. There's something you'd be better at. Like what? I know a secret, said the rat, and I'll tell it for some food. Very well, said the twins. It's about your heritage, said the rat. Your fathers were great ball players, and you two are cut out to be great yourselves. You just need the proper gear, and I happen to know where your father hid it, up under the rafters there. Well, go get it for us, said the boys. I can't, said the rat. Your grandmother and your mother are in there. They were standing out in the yard, and the rat didn't want to get caught in the house by the twins, grandmother, and her daughter-in-law. We'll see to that, said the boys, and they gave it some thought. The next day at lunch time, they met outside the house. One went inside while the other went around back and let the rat loose in the wall. Then they told their grandmother that they were very hungry, and she made them some stew. They asked her to grind some chilies on top, and while they had eaten a little, they asked for water. Those chilies are hot, they gasped. Their grandmother saw that the water jar needed filling because they had secretly emptied it. So she went out to the well. The boys ate some more, leaning greedily over their bowls. What they were really doing was watching the rat's reflection as he scaled the rafters and located the ball gear. Now they let loose a mosquito, which buzzed out to the well and punctured the grandmother's water jug so that all the water leaked out every time she filled it. Crazy mosquito, powers there. Where can grandmother be with that water? They asked their mother. She said she would go look, and when she was gone, the rat bit the twine that held the ball gear to the ceiling, and down it fell. They hid it near the ball court their fathers had built, and then went to help their grandmother fix the water jar. The next day they were playing ball like their fathers before them. They had a boisterous time of it. Their gleeful shouts and the thud of hard rubber ball on their pads and wickets was heard down below Xibalba. Not again, said the Lords of Death. They're no more humble than their fathers. It's not right that they should show such prowess. Bring them here. We'll give them a game. And so messengers were dispatched. Only when they came to the house and the clearing the boys weren't there. They were still off playing ball. So the messenger spoke to the grandmother, giving her the summons to be relayed. It broke her heart to think that she would lose her grandsons to the Lords of Death, just as she had lost her sons before them. But Xibalanque and Hunahpu did not hesitate when they heard the call. Down they went to Xibalba. Scaling the cliff, they came to the rivers of blood and pus. They didn't just wade in. Instead, they used their blowgun like a canoe. When they came to the crossroads, they knew which road to take, but they also knew that the Lords of Death expected to be greeted by name. Indeed, this was a test, a trial. So Hunahpu plucked a hair from his shin, and it turned into a mosquito, and the mosquito went on ahead and bit the first Lord of Death. Only there was no reaction, no ouch, for this was no real lord, but a wooden replica. So now the twins wouldn't fall for that trick, and the mosquito bit the next lord. Still no reaction. But when it bit the next in line, he let out a cry. What's the matter, Pussmaster? Asked the one seated next to him. Something bit me. Okay, a name like Pussmaster, I couldn't do it.
No.
Something bit me, said Pussmaster, and now the twins knew his name. And when the mosquito bit the others' lords and each cried out in turn, the twins learned all the names. Then up they strode and entered the throne room of Xibalba. We're not saying good morning to wooden dummies, they said, but the real Lords of Death they greeted properly, and they greeted them by name. They had passed the first test. Have a seat, said the Lords of Death, gritting their teeth in frustration. Not on that cooking griddle, said the boys, and thus they saved their behinds. The Lords of Death did not argue. They were just the first tests. There were many others in store, starting with the cigars and torch gag. Return these in the morning, just like you got 'em. And the twins were told when they were escorted to their chamber and handed the burning torch and the pre-lit cigars. But Shibalanke and Hunahpu knew better than to let the torch burn out. Instead, they swapped a macaw's scarlet tail feather for the flame, and they stuck fireflies on the end of their cigars. "Who are these two?" demanded the Lords of Death when the items were returned next morning. "They look just like those other twins, but they're getting the better of us. Not to worry, though. When we play ball, it's our ball court and our ball. And this ball wasn't a ball at all, but a dagger shaped like a sphere." "Here's the ball," said the Lords of Death. "We brought our own," said the twins. "Let's use ours," said the Lords of Death. "Whatever you say," said the twins. "Ours is just a normal ball. It just looks fancy," said the Lords of Death. "Right," said the twins. The Lords made a shot, but Hunahpu blocked it. The dagger was exposed from inside the ball. "But see what you have in mind." "We see what you have in mind," said the boys. "Either stop trying to kill us, or we're leaving." "Very well, then, change balls if you must." Now they played with the plain rubber ball supplied by the boys. It was a close match. The teams were about equal in strength and skill, but the twins had the advantage of thinking pure thoughts. In the end, though, they allowed themselves to be defeated. "What shall be our prize?" asked the Lords of Death. "Name it," said the twins. "We'd like flowers," said the Lords of Death. "Many-colored flowers." And knowing that the only flowers in Xibalba were in their own garden, the Lords of Death warned their guardians. "Keep a good eye out tonight. Those boys will surely make a raid." But those guardian birds were singularly oblivious. The boys were sent first to the razor house, where sharp blades were to cut them to pieces, but they convinced the blades that their job was to cut up animals, not hero twins, and the blades let them be. Now they called all the ants of Xibalba to do them a favor. "Go to the garden and cut us some flowers," they said, and the ants did as they were told. They cut the flowers right under the noses of the guardian birds. The Lords of Death didn't look too happy when they received their prize. The night game was played. It was a tie. They agreed to play again in the morning. The boys were sent to the cold house, but they survived this ordeal by locking out the cold. They were sent to the jaguar house, but they distracted the jaguars by feeding them bones. The firehouse didn't burn them to ashes, but only toasted them golden brown. The bat house they survived by hiding inside their blowgun, while the razor-like teeth of the giant bats gnashed through the night. Now they made a mistake, but they did it on purpose. Hunahpu decided to peek outside the blowgun and see if it was morning yet. When he did so, a bat sliced off his head, and it went rolling out onto the ball court. Shibalanke cried out as if he had given up hope, but he called all the animals together, asking each to bring its favorite food. The Koti brought a squash, and with the help of the gods, this became a new head for Hunahpu. "Okay, what's the plan?" asked Hunahpu, trying out his new mouth and finding that it worked quite well. "You'd better not play ball yourself," said Shibalanke. "Leave that to me. You just stand there cussing out the Lords of Death." Meanwhile, Shibalanke told the rabbit to hide outside the ball court and wait for the ball. So the Lords of Death started the game, using Hunahpu's head for the ball. As far as they were concerned, this made them victors automatically, but Hunahpu dared them to kick the ball, and they took the dare. Shibalanke deflected the shot, then sent Hunahpu's head flying toward the rabbit's hiding place. The rabbit hopped off, the Lord of Death thought it was the bouncing ball, and they raced off in pursuit, baying like hounds. The boys got Hunahpu's head back and put the squash in its place. "It's right here," they shouted to the Lords of Death. "How did we miss it?" they asked, looking foolish. "Who cares? Play ball!" Now the game was played in earnest. Only the ball wasn't up to it. When Shibalanke gave it a particularly energetic boot, it split open and all its seeds came spilling out. The hero twins had defeated the Lords of Xibalba. So the Lords of Death, with all their tricks and all their tests, couldn't kill the hero twins. But still the boys knew that they would have to die for their quest to be complete. They even knew how the Lords of Death would kill them. So when they were called before the Lords of Xibalba and challenged to a new and different game, they knew it was a trick. "See this oven?" said the Lords of Death. "Bet you can't jump over it 4 times. "We're not falling for that one," said the boys, and without any further ado, they jumped right into the flames. The Lords of Death were beside themselves with exultation. At this point, they made a big mistake. Instead of throwing Shibalanke and Hunahpu over a cliff or hanging their bodies in a tree, They ground their bones on a grinding stone and sprinkled them in the river. This was the only way that the twins could come back to life, and come back they did. First as catfish, and then as their normal selves. Only now their outward appearance was different. They looked like tattered beggars, the kind who go about dancing and performing tricks for a living, and their tricks were quite amazing. They'd burn a house down and then make it like new. They'd even sacrifice each other, laying down under the blade, then springing up again. Word of their renown reached the Lords of Death, and they were summoned for a command performance. Oh no, really, we couldn't, they told the messengers of the Lords of Death. We wouldn't know how to behave in a royal house. The messengers insisted, and they were brought before the Lords of Xibalba. They acted scared. They acted amazed. False humility, they bowed down to the ground. The Lords of Death asked that a dog be sacrificed, and then brought back to life. And when this was done, they asked that it be repeated with a human. And when this too was accomplished, they asked the twins to sacrifice each other. So Xibalanque dismembered his twin and cut out his heart. Then he started dancing and commanded Hunahpu to get up and join him. And when Hunahpu got up and as good as new, the Lords of Death were caught up in a frenzy of delight. Now do us, they cried. And so the twins sacrificed the two foremost of the Lords of Death. Only they didn't bring them back to life, and the other lords knew that they had been defeated. And from that day forth, Xibalba had lost its glory. The twins took the heads of one Hunahpu from the tree in which it hung, and they put him back together and restored him to life. They left him there in a place of honor beside the ball court in Xibalba. And so it came about that life-giving maize is born and reborn each year through the agency of one Hunahpu, who is also known as the maize god. And then the hero twins, Xibalanque and Hunahpu, their heroic quest complete, ascended into the sky and became the sun and the moon. There you go.
Dang. Okay.
A lot going on.
A lot more violence than I thought.
I mean, Mayans were violent too. Many ancient civilizations are violent, but they kind of had to be back in those days.
It's crazy.
And then I wanted to leave that off with a fun fact that both of these brothers, the second set of brothers, they are featured in several video games.
I
don't remember which one is in Genshin Impact, but one of them is in Genshin Impact. They both are in Civilization 6, and I think they're both in Smite as well. They're also in like movies and stuff. There's a lot of pop culture references to these two. Yeah. That's obviously a very translated, modernized version of things, I think, because I'm sure it didn't sound exactly like that. but yeah, that's a version of it, which I found very fun. Yeah, no, it was pretty violent. Very violent.
Yeah, no, definitely very violent. Was not expecting that, to say the least. But very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. All right.
So,
and that was my story.
I love that. Yay, we did it!
We did it! So next week we have... What the frick are we talking about?
Did I write it in the outro? Let me see. I think I might have...
I don't think so.
Oh, I did not.
I'll check Twitter because I tweeted the thing you made.
Oh, yeah. Hispanic...
Yeah, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. Yeah, okay.
That's right.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
That it was tweeted, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I did do that.
I should have known, because it's literally that and then the debut anniversary. I should have just known that it wasn't the debut anniversary. All right, so we'll be diving into more Mesoamerica stuff tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week then.
Woo!
But yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
That is. I'm excited.
Yeesh.
Okay.
But yeah, wonderful episode.
Well,
loved learning about the Hawaiian myths.
Dude, the Mesoamerican,
yeah.
American, yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, things go crazy.
I feel like, in a lot of, just in general, any culture, really, gods and goddesses, they are scary as fuck, man.
Yeah, no, they're, like, meant to be, like, kind of, and they don't really, like, care about humans. Like, there's very rarely one that's, like, super caring.
Which is, like, crazy, because, like, they're,
like, we're supposed to worship them, and they just don't care about us.
Is there a god or goddess, like, dedicated to the human people?
I mean, we did have that one son, the second wife of Tlaloc. His wife was super devoted to humanity, but she killed them all by crying 52 years of blood.
Damn.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but it has to happen. It has to happen.
Well,
I never know,
that was really fun.
who to raid when we do, like, topics that aren't, like, easily transferable to other things.
To other things.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if anyone's doing anything with mythology other than us.
Yeah.
No.
That would be...
There's not.
Oh, those mythological games out there, nobody.
There's only people playing Phasmophobia, Marvel Rivals with mythology tags, and I'm like, girl, that's not mythology.
That's not mythology. What?
Girl, that's not mythology. Wow. There's a lot of people playing Age of Mythology, but I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. All right, well, let's see who's see if any of our friends are streaming.
Yeah, let's see.
It's quite late, so they might not be. I don't see anyone. None of our friends are streaming. What the heck?
Well?
Oh, Hasar's streaming.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, Hasar is streaming. We can go to Hasar.
Okay.
And, Hasar will appreciate our topic, so.
Oh, yeah, 100%. For sure. Perfect.
Okay. Did I do it right? I did. Okay, sick. All right. Yay! So, when you're ready, we can do our outro.
Okay, let me pull up the doc. Let's see. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Yay!
And so our tale comes to an end. For now.
The legends we've shared today return to the myths. But fear not! New adventures await just beyond the horizon.
Remember, every myth begins with a storyteller, and every geek has a legend of their own.
Until our paths cross again, keep your dice rolling, your sword sharp, and your fandoms mighty.
Don't forget to follow, like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date. Join us on Twitter and Discord.
Oh, I forgot about the Instagram too. And Instagram! Farewell,
and
travelers.
TikTok.
And TikTok! Yeah, right. Farewell, travelers, and thank you for joining us on Series of Geektastic Events.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.